Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. It's time for Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5. The first hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stat, Sportsworthy, and Brian Davis.
Welcome into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you live and local inside our Family Leisure Studios. Landon Schmidt producing. We're Sports Time. We're with you for the next 2.5 hours. A little bit of a shorter show today. Ole Miss baseball, their game tonight against Auburn, has been moved up to a 6 o'clock first pitch, so we'll be out of here around 5:30 to make way for the pregame show. Like I said, that game will get started around 6 o'clock as Ole Miss and Auburn wrap up the regular season this weekend. But plenty to get to over these next 2.5 hours. We've got to talk NBA playoffs. We've got to talk PGA Championship. We got to talk the Preakness that gets kicked off tomorrow. So plenty to get to over these next 2.5 hours. Very busy 2.5 hours. But Brett, how are you this afternoon?
Doing well, Bryant. Doing very well. It'd be fun to be in Baltimore this weekend. Yeah. Preakness and Nationals and Orioles. Where? In Baltimore or in D.C.? It wouldn't matter. It'd be close enough for everyone.
Yeah, it would be. It'd be fun. It'd be a lot of fun. A lot to do that weekend. It could be a very busy weekend in Baltimore. So yeah, so you'd have a lot to do. In Baltimore. Yeah. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
It'd be a good time. It'd be a really good time. But yeah, and everywhere it feels like this weekend, especially in baseball, rivalry weekend. What we have labeled it. A lot of really intriguing matchups, really fun matchups over the weekend. Should be a lot of fun.
This weekend in baseball was kind of the original intent of Interleague. This is what it looked like. A lot of these, even after all these years, Interleague started in '96. After almost 30 years. A lot of these still aren't rivalries.
Right, yeah.
I'm sorry, with the Reds' history, they want to win. I know all that, but playing Cleveland, same. I know what happened in 1985. Trust me, I know it's the closest thing to seeking professional help in my life. I know who won the World Series in '85. I don't care if they win the next 5 against the Cardinals. The Cardinals are never looking at the Royals as a rival. And then, Tampa Bay and the Marlins.
Well, yeah, you gotta have them playing somebody.
Astros and Rangers, yes. Sure. And Interleague probably sparked that. And certainly being in one league after starting in 2 different leagues. And if I have to explain, I think it'd be too hard for me to.
Well, yeah, but no, I mean.
Yankees, Mets matter.
Sure, but, rivalry or not, a lot of really intriguing games. I mean, you talked about, Royals and Cardinals, 2 teams that, heck, 3 weeks ago, you look at that game and you go, okay, both these teams really struggling. Now both teams playing a lot better, and so, that makes it intriguing. Padres and Mariners, that's not a series that I really view as a rivalry, but, two teams.
Could be a World Series.
Could be.
This fall.
2 really fun teams and 2 teams with really good pitching staffs. So, I'm excited for this weekend. It's some really good matchups, labeled rivalry week, but yes, like you said, only a few real rivalries this weekend.
Back to the Bay Area for the homeless A's to play the Giants.
Yeah, that'd be
at
fun.
that great ballpark. I wonder if East Bay A's fans will show and try to be loud and proud. They were never that loud in their last years in Oakland, but they were proud. And this is a rematch of a very famous World Series in '89, the Earthquake World Series. Yeah. And before that catastrophe, before that natural disaster, that still amazing that it wasn't worse than it ended up being. The mayor of Oakland suggested to the mayor of San Francisco, this person, I can't even remember the 2 mayors' names, but I remember this happening. If it happened now, I think you would get in trouble for being very politically incorrect. So the mayor of Oakland suggested the mayor a wager for the World Series. You know what the mayor of San Francisco said?
What did he say?
There's not anything in Oakland I want.
That's great.
You'd get in trouble for that now.
You probably would. You probably would, but
that would
that's
probably
great.
be deemed insensitive.
It'd be deemed something. I don't know what it would be. But that is funny. No, I mean,
I thought it was funny
oh,
at the
yeah,
time. I really did.
It is. It'd be funny today if someone said that.
I would laugh today,
absolutely.
but I'd probably get in trouble for laughing.
But no, I mean, it is going to be a really fun weekend around Major League Baseball. But a lot of talk today about the PGA Championship. The Big Three group still rolling along. Scotty still in a great spot. You know, he's roaming around here on Friday. But
did Rory lose a bet and have to wear the burnt orange?
It feels like they traded shirts. Like I don't know. Like
I've been confused a lot of the day because I think both are wearing a white Nike cap.
Yeah.
Ball cap.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday Scotty wore his beloved burnt orange from the other UT.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
All right, Brian. How hard? Let's kick today off. You ready?
Please.
If you had to go out in public.
Mm-hmm.
UT East Orange, Tennessee, UT West Orange, Texas. What would you wear? You got to wear one out in public.
I'd Texas all day. I'd be fine wearing Texas. I'd be fine.
I'd wear Tennessee raccoon skin hat.
Wow.
Single shot.
Yeah.
Double barrel, or no, what would you single shot? Double barrel shotgun, and Smokey the Blue Tick Hound in a second over Texas.
I'd rock Texas gear. I would. If someone gave me a Texas shirt, I'd rock it. I'd have no issue rocking it.
Great friend of mine, Texas fan. I hope he's listening. I bet he may be, and I know he's not offended because he knows how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
We had a bet last year on just who won the most games, Texas
Sure.
or Ole Miss. He won. I paid off. We met at the world famous Rendezvous on the Friday before the Super Bowl. Paid off. Had a great time. I told him we're not betting anything that I got to wear anything because I'm never ever wearing Texas anything.
That's great. Oh, that's great. But yeah, no, I think Rory, something happened. Something happened, and Rory must have lost a bet or something. But
did they play a practice round? It wasn't for
no
cash.
I have no idea, but it has been because the first time I saw this group out there and I saw Rory, I was like, oh, Scotty running it back, and then I was like, wait a minute, that's not Scotty, that's Rory. So yeah, it's been a little confusing today, but it's been another fun day at the PGA Championship.
Is there any scenario you'd wear Tennessee orange?
No.
To a good UT friend's bachelor party, wedding, rehearsal? No. Yeah. No. What if you were in a great and you got really good Tennessee friends, right?
I do. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And instead of the tuxedo look at the wedding, he gave out everybody, like. Somebody wore a 16 Peyton Manning. Somebody wore a 27 Al Wilson. Yeah. Somebody wore a 92 Reggie White. Would you then?
No, I'd have
just rent me a tuxedo.
If that's like the groomsman thing, I just have to politely decline being a groomsman.
That's a good idea for groomsmen.
It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea at all. I kind of like
maybe
it.
For second marriages. I don't know if the bride would be that wild.
I'll say it depends on who you're marrying. Go around. Yes. That would definitely be something you have to take into account. But no, I don't think I'd be doing that. No offense to Tennessee by any means, but great.
What would be next in the SEC world for you? So Tennessee would be 16. What would be 15?
Probably Ole Miss.
Probably Ole
Miss. Yeah. Outside of that, I really don't. I mean, there are teams in the SEC I'd rock. Vandy, I'd rock Vandy easy. But I think a lot of people would rock Vandy with no issues. Yeah. No real bad blood with Vandy.
Kind of the Switzerland of the SEC.
That's right. Yeah. That is true.
Oh, Vandy, huh? Okay.
Yeah. Connor has a Vandy baseball shirt, actually, and he wears a lot. So
speaking of Connor, Cubs and the White Sox getting it on the north side of Chicago.
I'll be honest, I completely forgot about it.
Afternoon affair.
Until about just now. About right when we started the show.
Still 6-3.
It's a great question, Brett. I haven't looked at the score. When we started the show, I was kind of looking at some things. I said, "Oh, look, there was a game. Yeah, it is still 6-3 in the bottom of the sixth inning." So
Cubs have on their Montreal Expos uniforms today.
Do they really?
Looks like it with the baby blue top and.
All right, I love it. Rock it out, rivalry series, pulling the throwbacks out. I love it.
Or the Cardinals wearing the clown suits tonight?
Are they? I have no idea.
Are they? I don't
have
know.
No clue. They might. I don't know.
Well, wear that in Kansas City.
yeah. Don't wear that at home. Don't wear that at home.
And then hopefully the equipment manager loses them on the way back.
Yeah, well, that would be nice. But I did want to bring this up because we're very busy today, so we really don't have another real down segment where we can just chat. I wanted to bring this up. Hugh Freeze was speaking earlier, I believe it was earlier today, and was asked about year number 3 for him at Auburn. Landon, I sent it to the Sports 56 Twitter, if you can find that video. In that video that we will have here in a second, he said that he thinks that Auburn needs to go to a bowl game this year for it to be a successful year. I think so, Hugh. I think.
Well, let me strike one word and add another one. I'm positive.
Yeah.
They need to go to a bowl in year 3.
Yeah, no.
Tell me what it is, Bryant. Without looking at W's and L's. If it's 7-5 and that includes a win at Bama, is that enough?
I think so. Maybe. I don't know. I really don't.
I'm sorry. It's at Auburn. I'm sorry. It's at
Okay.
Auburn. Because 2 years ago was the 4th and
that's right.
31 Gravedigger.
I don't know. I think so, but I don't know. Maybe.
I think his comments were Wednesday at the Pro-Am for the Champions event down at Birmingham.
Yeah, I know it was at that event. I didn't know exactly when it was. Today's when I saw it. Go ahead, Landon, and play this clip.
Going into this season, does it feel a little bit different? Do you feel like, hey, I've got to win X amount of games?
I'm not a fool. I think we've got to go to a bowl game, and I think our administration understands. Look, I inherited a program that didn't have a top 25 recruiting class for 4 years. You're not going to win in this league. We've had now 2 full recruiting classes, both top 10. I think one more than your roster looks complete. But I'm still not naive. And we should have won some games last year that we could have won some games. I shouldn't say we should. We could have won some games last year. And we've got to find a way to make sure we're excellent in those areas that cost us those, that put us in a position to be at least bowl eligible, if not more. And I see no reason why we shouldn't do that. And I think that's an expectation that our people should expect.
Yeah.
And I don't sit around feeling like that puts a lot of pressure on me. Look, I'm blessed. And I'm blessed to be at one of the greatest universities, to live in one of the greatest towns, to work for some of the greatest people.
All right, now
and
you just
our
get into coach speak.
Awesome.
We love everything.
Four score
great.
and
live in the best city, best town, best people. Okay.
I agree with a lot of what he said, including great town to live in.
Sure.
I do, and great university. Mm-hmm. He still sounds like he wants to play some of those games 10 times from last year, doesn't he?
Yeah. At one point, when he said we could have, we should have,
he reeled it back.
It felt like we were getting close to if we had played that 9 times.
That's really not how it works, and he knows that. Because if we can replay some games, I'd like to have a couple of Vandy games back when he was head coach at Ole Miss.
Well, yeah. That is for sure. Also,
a couple of Vandy games when he was head coach at Ole Miss.
Unfortunately, yes. I also love the part where he talks about how
I'd like to have 4th and 25 with the Hunter Henry Heave back at Ole Miss.
That's right.
That's not how you play it, though.
There's a list. There's definitely
you play and you live with it.
That's right.
And he's living. Now he's right about the recruiting. He walked in as barren as Auburn has ever been.
That's true. But that's also not the excuse that it was 5-6 years ago. Now you got the money right. You can turn around a program in 1 or 2 years. And so, this has got to be a big year because you can't come back year 4 and say, all right, well, look at these recruiting classes we've built up. We haven't gotten it done yet, but, oh, boy, here we go. Because you see places all over. I mean, heck, look at Vandy. Vandy is turning things around in 1-2 years.
And where did it start at Vandy? With a quarterback. And Hugh Freeze has not had one, and that's shocking to me.
It blows my mind. I really can't even understand it. But,
he does now.
He does, and so this is
a couple of good options at quarterback.
Yeah.
I haven't even done lightly shaded pencil yet. I promise you I haven't. I promise. But I'm going to say in the 7-5, 8-4, if beating Bama on the Plains is in that mix, he's fine.
Sure.
I think if it's 8-4 and Bama's in that mix, you re-up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fresh new 5, and everybody on staff gets gets raises.
Yeah.
If it's around 7, and I thought the last couple of years he had been primed to, return back home to the Liberty Bowl.
Yeah, and that definitely could happen, especially that 7 wins. So, yeah, big year for Auburn. But, like he said.
And the biggest thing, in all seriousness, and I mean it sincerely, talked to a friend yesterday about Coach Hugh Freeze. The best thing is he's on a good path. It's the health front, ahead of it, and really now, being a real advocate for it.
Yeah, man, that is great.
For prostate cancer.
Yeah, and so it will be a big season for Auburn, and they certainly have the talent. They are loaded up at a lot of positions, but definitely some interesting words from Hugh Freeze the other day. Well, we've got a busy show today, so let me set it up before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30, Alan Bell from Driving the Line. He'll join us. We'll talk wagering with him. We'll bounce around to a lot of things. We'll get picks for tonight's game, Knicks and Celtics. We'll also get some baseball thoughts from Alan as well. 3:45, we'll talk the NBA playoffs. We'll talk about last night's game. The Nuggets get the win at home, 119-107 over the Oklahoma City Thunder. And then tonight, the big one, Celtics at Knicks, 7 o'clock on ESPN. We'll talk about both those games. 4 o'clock, Bruce Marshall from Vegas Insider and CBS Sports. He'll join us. We'll talk more wagering with him. Pretty much the same thing. We'll talk NBA. We'll probably get his thoughts on draft lottery as well, then get to some baseball thoughts from Bruce. 4:30, Dick Girardi will join us to talk the Preakness. He joined us right before the Kentucky Derby, so we'll recap what happened at the Derby, talk about the Preakness, maybe get a question or two in about college basketball, but definitely focusing on the Preakness for tomorrow. Real excited about that. 4:45, we'll get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Dan Reardon from KMOX up in St. Louis. He's the golf reporter up there, and he's at the PGA Championship right now. So we'll talk with him about everything that's happened over the first 2 days. We'll talk with Dan about 18, 19 minutes. Then we'll get to an early crunch time because we got to get out of here. 5:30, we'll have Ole Miss baseball pregame for their matchup against Auburn. Again, that first pitch scheduled for 6 o'clock tonight. Well, let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure studios where family and fun come together. It's pool time, and Family Leisure is already booking pool installs for 2025. Buy now and get on the list for your pool installation. 2024 pools starting at $19.99 installed. Liners starting at $299. All pool accessories up to 20% off. 5 to 6 person hot tubs starting at $69.99, and swim spas and cold plunge tubs now $2,000 off. Don't forget about the patio furniture. Select sets now up to 50% off, and if you mention this ad, get free installation only at Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40.
We are Sports Time from the Family Leisure Studio on this Friday, May 16th, 2025. He's Brian, I'm Brett. Our producer is Landon Schmidt, and we want you to be a part of our show by texting or calling 901-360-8255. All our guests will appear at the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin text and talk line. All the guests will appear at 901-360-8255 as well. Always from our Family Leisure Studios, and this hour always brought to you by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2025 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Call them at 901-334-9673, but they invite you to stop by the only Lexus dealership in Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2025 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the safe luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day, it is the NBA playoffs. Last night, the Nuggets, they get the win at home. We talked about it earlier yesterday afternoon, and we both thought that the Nuggets could even things up last night, extend this to Game 7. You look at what the Nuggets showed in that game offensively, very impressive. 3 of the Nuggets starters with 23 or more points. Julian Strawther comes off the bench, gives them some massive minutes. And on the other side, Denver's offense really struggled, and it really wasn't what we've seen from them where it's everybody pitching in. It was really the SGA show and kind of struggles everywhere else. So now we'll get a Game 7 in that series, and now really, who knows? I think the Thunder feel good at home in a Game 7, but the Nuggets, they have that championship experience. They have one of the best players on the planet on their team. Now the Thunder do as well with SGA. Game 7 should be a ton of fun in OKC. And then tonight, Celtics and Knicks. The big one, it feels like for the Knicks, they've been in kind of control here, certainly in control of the series, but now Game 6, if you lose tonight, go back to Boston for Game 7. And Brett, if you kind of diagnose this, if you dive real deep, Boston's been controlling this series. It's been the late games where the Knicks have come back and gotten the win. I don't know if I'm the Knicks if I want to go back to Boston for a Game 7. So tonight feels extremely important for the Knicks. It'll be rocking. We know what MSG will be. We know what outside the whole city of New York City will be tonight. This is the moment where the Knicks have to wrap this series up. Because again, throw everything out for both of these games. But if you go back Game 7 with Tatum, without Tatum, I don't care. I don't want to face Boston in a Game 7 in Boston.
I know that's right. Game 7 will happen. We'll see if another Game 7 happens in the NBA playoffs. I think it's the best two words in sports, maybe the other best two words, victory formation. But tonight in Lower Manhattan, it may feel a lot like the 70s tonight and this whole weekend in sports. It has a throwback feel to it. Tomorrow there will be no NBA. NBA playoffs were usually wrapped up in the 70s by now, into the 80s by Memorial Weekend. Now we're into June, but this weekend, it's going to feel a lot like 50s sports. Horse racing, baseball, golf, good old baseball. Always there and always been there.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day is the PGA Championship, and we knew that when we started the show this afternoon, that old Johnny Vegas would be leading the way. Whew, he has been the story of the tournament so far. Got super hot yesterday afternoon, birdieing 5 of his final 6 holes to finish round 1 at 7 under. Today, a little more up and down, but finished under par, now sits at 8 under. Would have been a really good day, but doubled on 18. Max Homa has been the big story today, finishing round 1 at 2 over, but today 6 under through his first 9 holes. Just an incredible start for him. He's now back in the mix. Scotty Scheffler in a really good spot. Really the only guy in that massive grouping of 1, 2, 3 that's really doing anything right now. Rory continuing to struggle this afternoon. It's been a lot of fun, but right now, still none of the big names at the top or really in the top couple of spots on the leaderboard. Feels like it's going to be a really fun weekend out in Charlotte.
This leaderboard would get a tournament director fired if that was his field.
Well, yeah, that's right. The amount of people I've heard say, "Is this the PGA Championship?"
The American Express.
Exactly. You know, it's hilarious. It's funny, but I love it. I'm all for it.
Low man wins. We
right.
know that. My not top story, this unimpressive leaderboard at the PGA Championship approaching the 36-hole cut mark. But who's to say that this anonymous leaderboard could be, maybe, producing golf's next big thing? We don't know that. We talked about yesterday with Crooked Stick and John Daly. Nobody knew him on Thursday. Very few knew him even on Friday. By Sunday night, phenom. Yeah. And went on to a big, illustrious life. I don't know that we get that something like that, but low man will win, and we'll have a major winner about 6 o'clock Sunday night holding the Wanamaker Trophy, whether it's big name or no name.
That's right, and I think that's what makes this weekend intriguing for this is, I think we'd all love a big name, but who knows what happens, and
it's not scripted.
Certainly not.
Only Live is scripted.
Certainly not, but I still think my pick, Scotty. I mean, look at the genius I am picking Scotty. He's right there. He's in a good spot.
Scotty Scheffler.
Like where he's at.
So double, he's going to win about 4-4, 4-5. So you'd win about 9 there. That gets you back in the mix.
Back in the mix.
Doesn't look like anyone's shot could pull the unthinkable. And John Gowen's shock is already, as he likes to say, trunk popping.
Really?
Patrick Reed on the road. John gets a big goose egg.
Oh, man, that's too bad.
Goose
That
egg
is
for John
too bad.
Going.
Oh, man, I hate it for him. Hate it for him.
Oh, we do too.
We'll
We're
get
here
it
for
next
him, though, aren't
week.
we?
Yeah, exactly.
We're here for him, though,
Yeah,
aren't we?
we're back next week. You know, that's the beauty of golf picks. There's always next week, you know?
That's right.
Always next week. Well, that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to our first break. When we return, we're talking wagering with Alan Bell.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work denim by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of Ariat jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by Ariat just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier's the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
I think a lot about golf, and when I think golf, I think Miramichi. Did you know Miramichi Golf Course offers membership? It's a great way to play more golf for less out of pocket. Their memberships run for $300 a month plus tax, and that includes unlimited rounds and range balls, no extra card fees, priority tee time booking, and discounts in the pro shop. Oh, by the way, there's no initiation fee. Miramichi green fees, they'll allow you to choose the right rate at the right time on the right day for your needs. If morning tee times are more important, you can book up to 14 days ahead of time to reserve your spot. If rate is more important to you, there are discounted evening rates available that you can choose from. Miramichi is now open on Mondays, and you'll find the lowest rate is on Thursday. Sometimes you just need to escape the hustle and bustle of life. Miramichi Golf Course provides just the right place to solve that need. The name Miramichi means place of happy retreat. When you need a quiet, peaceful round of golf, please make your way to Miramichi.
For over 8 decades, America's farmers have counted on the little red tractor from Case IH, the Farm Hall, to help them make short work of their demanding chores. Well, Mid-South Ag can show you they aren't just for farms anymore. With horsepower ranging from 30 to 105, plus an army of attachments, they can tackle every chore on your to-do list. From hauling and mowing to loading and towing and then some. Stop by Mid-South Ag Equipment or call 662-890-3141 to find a Case IH Farm Hall that's right for you.
Mid-South, it's the right time to buy, and the right place is Gossett Hyundai on the Pike. And we're ready to beat the competition on your new ride, so hurry. Get to Gossett Hyundai on the Pike for 2024 Hyundai Tucson Hybrid Limited All-Wheel Drive. Only $36,921. How about 2024 Hyundai Santa Cruz XRT All-Wheel Drive? We Gossett $37,180. And beautiful 2024 Hyundai Palisade Limited Front-Wheel Drive $44,277. There's only one left at this price, so you've got to hurry. Plus, every Gossett Hyundai comes with America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So get to Gossett Hyundai today, 1870 Covington Pike, or online anytime at HyundaiGossett.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
RU23-823, MSRP 41,870, Palisade RU798,741, MSRP 50,184, Santa Cruz RH126,339, MSRP 42,180, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 895, excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit, dealer stock only.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Dry out here for the most part. Looking at the weather radar, not too much of a concern, at least for the next hour or so, as traffic starts to increase even more through Midtown on 240 South at South Parkway. Looking decent right now, 240 East from Middle Branch out to 385 Bill Morris Parkway. If you have dandelions, crabgrass, you want to make your yard look good this spring, call Lawn Solutions, 867-5626. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56. This hour is brought to you by Lexus and Davis. Here are your hosts, Brent Star Sports Movie and Brian Davis.
Alan Bell joins us now to talk wagering from Driving the Line. He joins us every Friday afternoon. Alan, thanks so much for joining us. Plenty to get into. I do want to start with schedule releases. How much do you pay attention to the NFL schedule releases? Did anything jump out to you earlier this week?
What's up, boys, man? Appreciate
What's
you
up?
guys having me back. Okay. Yeah, I do pay attention to it. Looking from, perspective of, what stood out, we'll keep it local, right? Like with the Titans, not getting any primetime games. And you know what? If you're breaking in a brand new quarterback, good. I know that, fans definitely want primetime games. But you know what, man? Short weeks, dude, just stay away from it. Like, if I had a rookie quarterback, number one overall pick, you give me 17 games at noon, buddy, I'd be happy with that in the first year. Just keep it normal. Let the kid get adjusted to the NFL without throwing in short weeks, without an offensive line. That's when people get hurt, man.
Pretty predictable 17 weeks of repeat, and really try to stay off the radar with a rookie quarterback. No news is good news.
Yeah, absolutely, right. And you can just keep it, to just adjusting to just playing in the NFL, right? Don't worry about short weeks or long weeks or anything like that. Like all that's going to come. If you do your job, they're going to try to put you in every primetime game. What else stood out to me is we were talking about this a little bit before the schedule release, and I think people caught on that Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to play primetime games either, and I think that he kind of sat out before. I think we all agree he's probably going to sign the Steelers. Mm-hmm. If he would have signed, they would have scheduled the Steelers for a lot more primetime games. And I think that part of going into it was, all right, if I just don't say anything, they're not going to schedule as many because Aaron Rodgers made it clear he didn't want to play in primetime games. He would take 17 at noon right there. So I found that kind of fascinating as well.
Alan, of all the things that I've had the good fortune of doing, I've been to a lot of NFL games, but I've never been to Monday Night Football. How much fun is that in Nashville for really the whole country to be watching on a Monday night?
Oh, it's awesome. Look, I worked for the Titans during, these games, right? Yeah. Monday night, Thursday night, and just from, the field aspect, you've got the crew there. I think Rich Eisen, Deion Sanders, Michael Irvin, they had those on, I guess it was Sunday nights or Thursday, whatever the NFL network, and then you had Monday night with ESPN doing their thing. It's awesome. Like, I'm not downplaying, the totality, of it all. It's cool. And like you said, that the whole country, parts of the world, are all watching you. It's a really great, kind of advertising space for your city, for your team, your fans, all that. There's no doubt about that. You're exactly right.
And with the flex scheduling, this year, if the Titans made some noise late in the year, it could flex into something a little more exotic.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point, too. Completely agree with that. I didn't even think about that. You're right. You go out and start, playing meaningful games, or if you're decent enough and you've got a team, that needs to win against you, that can happen as well. You never know. That's a great point. I didn't even think about the flex schedule part.
Because in college football, I guess Alabama probably doesn't, but most SEC teams are convinced we play more 11 o'clock games than anyone. And a few years ago, somebody did the complete went back and did the complete look back, and it was pretty equitable. If you're good, you'll play at 2:30 or at night. Everybody knows that from October on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, look, it's not like these TV networks are trying to get less ratings and have the same. They're not putting Vandy every single time at 11 o'clock. Yeah, you're right, man. 100%.
Yeah. Alan, big game tonight in New York. Celtics and Knicks on ESPN, 7 o'clock. Game 6, Knicks, they're up in the series, but Boston, a big win for them last time out. Right now, Knicks, about a 2.5-point favorite, total at 211.5. What do you like in this game? What do you think about the Knicks tonight?
Yeah, and look, we talked about it, Game 5 in Boston that, New York, you don't play with your food here.
Mm-hmm.
If you're New York and lose Game 6, Game 7's on the road, Hoss. Oh, man. Normally with previous Knicks teams, I would be absolutely all over Boston. But this Knicks team is different, man. They fight and they play hard. They are coached hard. It's old school, man. They don't pull starters, nothing. You know what I mean? I think that you're going to have the world coming betting on the Celtics, and I think that the Knicks are the play. I don't know if the Celtics can repeat Game 5 where, Derek White is making 7 threes and Jaylen Brown's making 5. I just don't – I don't see it. In the Knicks, if they can get the Celtics in a little bit of chaos, without Tatum, your floor general, things can get hairy and out of hand quick. I like the Knicks, man. A lot of people are going to be betting on Celtics, and I get it. But I'm rolling with the Knicks here, man. This is a tough old school team.
So you trust them. On Sunday, who do you like, Oklahoma City or Denver in Oklahoma City?
Yeah, that's a great question, man. Look, Denver's been here before. Look what they did just to get to this series, right? And OKC is young, but OKC they're a better team. I think that they're a better team. I think they're deeper. It's a big spread, but I'm going to roll with OKC. I just think that they're a better team overall, and they're playing at home. But the fact that it went to 7, man, whether the Nuggets win, lose, they deserve credit for getting to where they are now, especially when you fire your coach.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Talking to Alan Bell, he joins us every week to talk wagering from Driving the Line. Rivalry weekend in Major League Baseball. Do you like this idea of rivalry weekend?
Oh, I love it. Look, I think Major League Baseball needs to lean into all these kind of things, right? Don't go crazy and make the game dumb. But, stuff like this, we get Juan Soto, like you were talking about, big one in New York. But, buddy, we got Juan Soto and the Mets going up against the Yankees, his former team. The manager of the Mets was the bench coach of the Yankees, right? I like stuff like this. I do find it fascinating when you have, some of the teams that don't necessarily fit into a rivalry, like the Braves. That Braves-Red Sox rivalry, that's always been a big thing. But
back to Boston, when it was the Boston Braves, right?
That's true, yeah.
In the 1700s.
See, everyone listening right now, this is why you go into a room or on a show with people smarter than you, because you are going to learn things. Yeah, dude, that's a great point. I didn't even think about that. You're right.
I think they shared Fenway for a couple years.
Did they really? Yeah. And the Braves in Milwaukee a little while, too. I think you're right, man. You know what? I love that you just said that. That's fantastic. You're right.
But it was a long, long time ago. Not many recall it. But Brian and I were talking about you're never making the Cardinals and the Royals true rivals. The Dodgers would fold the franchise before they would recognize the Angels as a rival.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And I love the blue blood, institutions, right? Like the Dodgers, like the Cardinals. They're saying, no. We might be rivals for them, but no. We don't
and I know the feeling, Alan. I mean, at Ole Miss, the LSU game, it means a lot. LSU pats us on our collective head and say, nice you're in town. Now, is it going to be by 2 or is it going to be by 20 we beat you?
Yeah, I know that feeling, man. And you're just sitting there like, ugh. You just grit your teeth. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
That's all you can do. In college baseball this weekend, what are you watching for? Because the motivation out there for some is not as much, because seeds for tournaments next week, maybe even seeds for regionals are set, maybe even super regionals if you get that far. Some teams aren't playing to that last out this weekend in the SEC with quite the vigor as others. What are you watching for?
Yeah, you know what? You're exactly right. And here's the thing, though, is that, with that, you actually get more scoring, right? Like you see teams like, in LSU playing a South Carolina. Well, LSU's the number one team in the country. Not too terribly much that they have on the line, right? But with that, when you come out relaxed, you swing, you're aggressive, you hit the ball, right? And you give up runs as well. So pay attention to that. But you nailed it there, man, is that you've got a whole lot of different teams that are going for seeding in, SEC conference tournament, and we're just using that as an example. You can use any conference that you want. But, take a look at, Tennessee going up against Arkansas this weekend. Well, look, Tennessee ranked 17th in the country. Top 16 teams host a regional, right? So Tennessee needs to come out and handle the business, and they need to get their bats back alive.
They played like it last night. They played like it meant more to them than it did to Arkansas, because Arkansas is pretty settled in.
Absolutely, right? And even look at Tennessee. They didn't even throw their ace, Liam Doyle, last night. They wanted to save him for Game 2 tonight, just in case. And they actually, ended up winning Game 1 last night, 10-7. So now they have their ace going in Game 2. 100%, right? And expand that thought process to teams that might not even make a regional, right? Like they need to pick it up and then get into conference play and show out. So, it's a good point by you. Yeah, you really have to kind of understand where each team is, because motivations are completely different.
Do you have Preakness picks?
Well, I'll say this. My pick is that I hate when we have a horse that wins the Derby and then is out.
Me too.
So no, I don't. Like, I come to you. Like, I don't know. Like, what do we watch for? What do we pull for?
Only 9 horses. I'm just trying to get 4 somewhere in the mix on the wheel.
Right.
On the wheel.
Yeah, just trying to get 4. Let's see if we can just pick a couple in the top 3. Buddy, I'm with you right there, man. But no, I don't, unfortunately. Yeah.
Alan, do you like anything in baseball, whether it's Major League or college tonight?
Yeah, I love runs in Tennessee, Arkansas. I know I just said Tennessee has their ace going. And Liam Doyle, he was a stud at Ole Miss, stud at Tennessee. He's going to be a high draft pick. But I do think that Arkansas, they're a prideful bunch. And I think that they'll get after Tennessee a little bit tonight. I think Tennessee will get after Arkansas a little bit. You can get the over at 10 right now. Yeah, very low number. Also, take a look. If you're looking at college baseball, you want to go for a big, big swing, man. North Carolina, Florida State. You're going to see some runs scored in that one. And then in Major League Baseball, the Red Sox and the Braves, we were just talking about it. Take runs tonight. I know that Chris Sale's on the mound for the Braves, and he's a stud, but there are some Red Sox players that have had Sale's number before. Alex Bregman, specifically. There could be a lot of runs in that one tonight.
Alan, I very much believe in these sports figures and personalities. They're real people. They have their real lives, and some of it should remain private. But when you foist it out into the public, it's like the politician that in every TV ad he's got the picket fence and the dog and the kids and that perfect Facebook at Christmas time appearance. And then something happens. Oh, don't get involved in my private life. Wait a second. You involved your private life. I bring it around to Bill Belichick. You said you're talking about North Carolina baseball. Does Belichick make it to opening day?
Man, that is a great question. Like, I think that he does, because the goal behind it is to raise money and funds for the North Carolina NIL fund. But I mean, I don't know if that's working right now, because it seems like every 3 days, there's something else going on. I think June 1st is the big day of, is this really going to happen or not? And I think that he does. But, man, like, the only reason is if you fired Belichick, who would you go get? Yeah. I think that's the problem. If you're
having to eat a year then, and you just can't miss a year anymore.
Exactly. And then, your whole goal, for the NIL then you just, napalmed it, right? So, no, I think Belichick does, but
well,
I'm
it's
sure
bigger than
that
napalm. It's Hiroshima.
Oh, yeah, literally. I mean, it really is, right? Like, if they had someone right now that could step in that was a credible name, I think that they would move on Belichick.
And
but
look, his girlfriend is his business, but he brought this to the public arena.
Yeah, and it's so weird that, like, think about this. Like, the one thing that's becoming weird is Belichick with the media, where that was never a weird thing because he didn't talk. Like, he's the one that's getting out, of his own, perfectly set up plan. It was smart. He handled it.
He was
great.
like a ventriloquist. His mouth wouldn't even move.
I'm telling you, like that's the part that's
he hated everybody,
everyone equally, right? Like that was that was the absolute best plan that you can do. And now, I mean, there have to be PR firms that are watching this, just going, "My God, buddy! Like, please call us. Like, we'll work for free. Like, just, yeah, it's wild."
Yeah, no, it is a crazy situation for sure. Alan, enjoy the weekend. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll talk to you again on Friday.
Look forward to it, boys. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. Take care. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Alan.
Good luck this weekend, Alan. Thank you so much, Alan Bell, with us. And that last night, Arkansas, they lost to Tennessee. Texas wins the regular season in baseball. Texas, they play in the SEC championship game in football. They back into the NCAA tournament. They got in Dayton, and they win the regular season in baseball. Great first year for Texas.
Absolutely.
With all the overheated comments I made about them
well,
earlier.
hey, it
Your
has
victory,
been.
you got to give credit to.
That's right. No, it's been a really good year. I mean, especially when you look at Oklahoma and kind of what their first year in the SEC has been. It has not been
pretty mixed.
Yeah, it hadn't been great. And so you got to give Texas a lot of credit for coming in and really doing a nice job.
So, Showboat Bankroll, y'all ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Tonight, is it San Antonio 1.5 or Memphis 1.5?
San Antonio 1.5.
Okay, so that's what we're going to key off. San Antonio, the Brahmas 1.5. I'm at 1025. Landon's at 500. Bryant, you're at 300. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I do not love what I learned. It was new knowledge to me yesterday when we talked to Steve Macy, and I learned our beloved quarterback Wynn is going to be the third string tonight. I don't know why we're doing that, but I'll still take the Showboats. I'll take them for $150. I'll put up half of my remaining cash, and I will take the Showboats because the Showboats have been close. San Antonio, on the other hand, every time I watch them, they are awful, and so I think the Showboats can get a win here.
Well, you're leaking oil, Brian. A loss tonight, and you know the math.
Well, yeah, Showboat.
2 weeks left, $1.50 left in the tank.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Landon?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the boats as well,
right.
but I'm going to keep it a little bit safe. I'm going to go with $50.
I mean, only including this one, only three weeks left. I mean, unload
That's right.
the clip.
First group lock of the year.
All right.
Only 25. All I'm risking.
Week 8, and it's our first group lock. That's
first of any, and first on the Showboats. Maybe first.
Something.
Well, we had a Showboat group lock or two last year, didn't we?
I'm sure we did. I'll be honest, Brett. I can't remember much of Showboat Bankroll from
that
last
game's
year.
tonight. I'm gonna watch some of it tonight.
Oh, for sure, and hopefully it's fun. I mean, a good opportunity for the Showboats to get a win, and like I said, San Antonio has looked really, really bad pretty much every time I've seen them. So
you can listen on FM to Eli and Russell Copeland.
Absolutely can. So, it should be a lot of fun tonight down in San Antonio. Well, we need to get to another break. When we come back, we got to talk about the NBA playoff action. Last night, the Nuggets get a win, extend the series to Game 7 tonight. The big one in New York City, Celtics at Knicks. We'll talk about both those games next on Sports Time.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11, here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
K4 SEO 39894, MSRP 25840, K5 S5312 782, MSRP 29330, Telluride SG 597 965, MSRP 43410, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 895, must finance through KFA, excludes tax item license with approved credit, dealer stock only, see dealer for complete details, offer valid through 6/2/25. Hey, Jeff Allen, what's the scoop over there in Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
Randy, the scoop is you get a 2025 Kia K4 LXS for less than a latte a day at Casa Kia South on Mount Moriah. Less than $6 a day at $169 a month. Plus a 2025 Kia K5 GT line, $185 a month. Got a big family? 2025 Telluride EX front wheel drive seats are 8 and has more power and larger cargo area than a Nissan Pathfinder. That's 2025 Telluride EX, $378 a month. All $49.99 due at signing, 24-month lease.
Plus, every Gossett Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
The success you've already had matters at University of Maryland David campus because we're a school for real life. An accredited state university, UMGC lets you earn up to 90 credits for a bachelor's for private learning, life, and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits for a master's. We offer affordable tuition and online and hybrid courses. No application fee if you apply by May 30th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified and Virginia by Chef.
Jenkins Floors and More invites you to the retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake. Also stores in Cleveland, Mississippi and Little Rock. They specialize in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds. Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, and family projects call 662-469-9350 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
Top Gun is the largest indoor range in the Mid-South. The size isn't their only difference. Top Gun has the best instructors with over 300 years combined experience and classes all the way from first shot to master marksmanship. Plus, Top Gun is affordable. Gold membership is just $48 a month. That's just $1.60 a day for a limited range time. Free gun rentals with purchase of ammo and members lounge access. Top Gun, 2770 Witten Road, TopGunMemphis.com. Always shoot with the best. Top Gun Memphis.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgess. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous? Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar base. It's now available in the 32-ounce jar. It's so good to base or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef. And she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from the Mediterranean diet to steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meat. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper is more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with the perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it. A beloved family of families still going strong since 1948. Rendezvous.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up. I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CLEAN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right? Your bank, PayPal, or a gift card from Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CLEAN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code CLEAN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56. This hour is brought to you by Lexus Cars. Here are your hosts, Brett Scott, Sports Movie, and Brian Davis.
We're back in Sports Time. Bryant Brett with you live and local inside our Family Leisure Studios. We got to talk about the NBA playoffs. Only one game last night, only one game tonight as we're really getting towards the end of this thing, limiting teams, eliminating teams. And last night, one team, they avoided elimination. The Nuggets at home, they get the win 119-104 107, extending that game to a Game 7. And, you look at that game, the Nuggets, the stars stepped up. Nikola Jokic, 29 points. Jamal Murray, who was questionable going into that game with illness, he plays and goes out there, finishes with 25 points, 8 assists, and 7 rebounds. Christian Brown, 23 points for him, one of their young guys. And then you get, Julian Strawther off the bench with 15 points. It was a really impressive showing from the Nuggets last night.
They will not get that from Strawther in Oklahoma City.
Nah, probably not. But I love Julian Strawther. That made me so happy watching him last night and the way he was playing. But yeah, I mean that was huge, and obviously, like you said, being able to have that game last night at home, trying to avoid elimination, having that crowd behind you certainly helped some of those younger guys like Brown, like Strawther.
Mm-hmm. It did. The result was about what I thought it was going in the game, but the game did not play out anything like I thought it would. Oklahoma City really had a working margin and collapsed and ended up losing, pretty decidedly. Only 8 men used for Denver.
Yeah. I mean, it was a really limited rotation, and that's kind of what they've been going with, and that was kind of the big thing going into this series was OKC so deep and Denver not very deep at all, and Denver coming off a really long series in the first round. How would they be? You go back to what was it, Game 4, I guess it was, where you really saw Denver look exhausted out there during that game. But last night looked a lot better. And you're right. I mean, coming out of halftime in that third quarter, Denver, they put up 32 points, and that really gave them that spark to wrap up that game and get the win last night.
It'll be interesting to keep an eye on. I will. What the TV ratings for Sunday afternoon will look like, because Game 7 will tip at 2:30 Central.
Yeah.
That'll be in the teeth of PGA Championship coverage, and with this leaderboard, CBS could get mauled.
Yeah, they certainly could. I mean, no offense to some of the guys towards the top of the leaderboard, but yeah.
It's really not, but this is what you... This is the opposite of the Rihanna song. This is not what you came for.
No. Certainly not. So you're right. I mean, if it's 2:00 and the leaderboard looks like it does today, then yeah, I think there will be a lot of people tuning into a Game 7. Then
if it's Michael Thor Bjornsson and Christian Bazuden.
Well said. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think
a Riri reference and everything.
How about that? I mean, what a way to ring in a Friday afternoon. I mean, good Lord. Tonight, do the Knicks get it done at home?
No. They don't.
Wow.
And Denver wins Sunday.
Whoa! Yeah, I guess we won't be here before that.
And we're not. Again. And there's no hockey settled for us to pick, right?
No, I don't think so. I don't think any hockey gets started over the weekend. So, yeah.
My leaves tonight, they're done.
Oh man, you could already smell
get
blood.
Get the handshakes ready.
Yeah,
I'm throwing my sweater on the court tonight.
Man, I mean,
it's in Florida.
How quick it changes.
I'm throwing my sweater somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere. Who cares where?
I'm gonna throw up on it and then throw it somewhere.
Well, you could be like the fans that burn their jerseys. You could do that. Put it on the grill, and that's probably a good idea. But
Look both ways when you cross the street.
That's right. Yeah, nothing set up in the hockey though. So yeah, we don't have anything to pick just quite yet. But we do have to wrap up this hour, get to a break, and when we return, we're talking more wagering with Bruce Marshall.
Huge news. Right now at Wendy's, you can get a Son of Baconator for just $3. I don't think you understand this situation. The Son of Baconator is only $3 for a limited time. Smoked bacon, rich melted cheese. That Son of Baconator is only $3. Thank you to whoever wished upon that star. And for bacon that just won't quit, gotta be Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii, not valid on a combo or in third-party delivery platform.
Welcome to Fat Larry's in Bartlett. Come in today for award-winning barbecue and so much more. Catfish, steak burgers, chicken, certified prime Angus beef steaks, along with all the sides, homemade rolls, delicious desserts, beer, and service that is out of this world. Fat Larry's cooks everything made to order just for you. Dine in or order online at fatlarrys.com. We're the best barbecue, southern cooking, and friendly atmosphere in town. Family owned and proud of it. Fat Larry's, conveniently located at 7537 Highway 70, just west of Appling.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like frames. Because you found a classic 70s concert poster. But when you went to get it framed, you realized the frame will cost about 4 times the amount of the poster. Which is actually absurd because no one will be looking at the frame. And if they are, then you severely overestimate how cool this poster is. But then you remember by switching your home and auto to Progressive, you could save hundreds and put it towards a classic 70s concert poster and an absurdly overpriced frame. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates of insurers, not available in Massachusetts.
The Employee Pricing Plus Memorial Day sales event is on in Gossett. Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Fiat on the Pike. 25 Ram 1500 Trade Crew Cab 5.7 box rear-wheel drive. $12,391 off MSRP or $529.47 a month. How about off-road capabilities and refined features in 24 Jeep Wrangler Sahara 4-wheel drive. $13,779 off MSRP or zero for 36 months available. 25 Grand Cherokee Altitude X elevates the altitude trim with additional luxury features. $91.37 off MSRP. Buy for $34,798. 24 Dodge Hornet GT, $26,484. So drive past the rest and come to the best. Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike. Online, GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
MSRP 48,260, Wrangler RQ302914, MSRP 59,760, Cherokee SC 83,363, MSRP 43,935, Hornet R38 42,101, MSRP 36,330, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 895, excludes tax title license, see dealer for complete details, offer valid to end of the month with approved credit, dealer stock only.
This traffic report brought to you by Triangle Meat Company, feeding Memphis since 1967. Open 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, 4790 Summer Avenue. Trust Triangle Meat Company.
Good afternoon. Starting to build even more through Midtown as we keep an eye on it over here. I-40 at Chelsea. 40 West has increased here at Danny Thomas across the I-40 bridge over in the west. Memphis, a little bit of radar about the last hour or so on I-40 as you come out of Shelby County out into Fayette County, so be careful. Dandelions, crabgrass, lawn solutions here in town says not a problem. Give them a call. These guys are the best and they're affordable. Lawn Solutions 867-5626. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. Joining the guys every Friday is college football historian and Vegas legend Bruce Marshall from Vegas Insiders. CBS Sports and his own website, VegasSports.net. For over 30 years on Memphis Radio. Bruce Marshall with Brian and
Bruce Marshall joins us now to talk some wagering from Vegas Insider and CBS Sports. Bruce, thanks so much for joining us. A lot to get into this afternoon. I do want to start with your thoughts on the NBA draft lottery. A lot of people talking about that this week. The Dallas Mavericks, a 1.8% chance to get the number one pick. They jump all the way up and secure the number one pick. Will likely draft Duke's Cooper Flagg. What did you make of the draft lottery, and what does that mean for Dallas?
Well, I guess a good move for Dallas there. And, you know, they flattened out the odds in the lottery. So no spot is better than a 14% chance. So, though 1.8% is still a long shot there, even, you know, the teams that thought they had, you know, the best chances, the Utahs and the Washingtons, there's still only a 14% chance. So they have flattened that out in recent years. And, you know, the Mavs get lucky. I'm just looking at this draft and some of the names. And though I acknowledge, you know, Flagg could be a special player, though I don't think he's quite what some of the hype is. He's just not. He's not another Larry Bird. He's just not that much of a scorer. And I've seen some compare. I mean, I kind of see him as a Draymond Green type player, maybe a little more scoring. But you know, Green came out of college as a pretty good scorer too. and we're talking about a guy who's got a probable Hall of Fame career. So I don't think that's a bad mix. But beyond that, I mean, the two kids from Rutgers, which they didn't gel this year, with Harper and Bailey, couldn't even make the dance. So I think there's a lot of questions in this draft beyond Flag, and maybe some guys that develop. But, I mean, this is, what we got right now coming out. And we see this at times in, the NBA draft, that some of these classes coming in just, don't have a lot of NBA-ready players. And beyond Flag, maybe a couple of those guys from Duke, I'm not sure who's really ready to make a contribution next year. We'll see.
Bruce, that is refreshingly candid, and it's a little bit like Bill Parcells said way back. We can only play what college gives us. and with Cooper Flag, I think he's going to be good. I hope he is all that. But can we wait and see him actually dribble a ball in a preseason game before we, anoint him as the next big thing? Because there's been a couple, I would say a lot of big misses out of Duke. I mean, is Cooper Flag a better player coming out of Duke than Christian Laettner? No.
That's correct, Brett, and I'm still waiting to see the greatness for Flag. I think he could be good, and he's a really intriguing mix, and he does a lot of things. He was a lot more mature as a player than most freshmen are. But again, I mean, the way they've been talking about him is, a league-altering player. I'm not seeing that yet. He's still pretty young, and maybe he'll develop. I mean, he'll be good. I think he's the best coming out of this class. But Bird, Rick Barry, no, he's just not that much of a scorer to be like those guys. He will probably help Dallas a lot, and for him, I think it's probably good. Dallas is Dallas could contend next year if they get everybody healthy. If he went to the Wizards or to the Jazz or somebody, he would have been really buried there. The most interest in the NBA offseason isn't going to be with the draft, though. It'll be with possible movement of some big names, including Giannis, what happens in some free agency. But I really think beyond Flag, and I'm not sure how great he is, this draft could be kind of a dud. We'll see.
And it could be the summer of the official announcement, getting really close of expansion to Vegas and Seattle.
Looks like that's where it's headed. Seattle's getting ready. Vegas is already talking about building another arena here. We've got about 8 of them in town, believe it or not, including one right down the street from me.
Got more arenas than joints, than casinos.
I know, we do. And, I could walk to the one just down the street where the minor league hockey team plays and the Big West tournament is in Henderson. But they're talking about that. LeBron possibly involved in the ownership group in Vegas. That seems to be his long-term plan. And Seattle coming back in. Now, I hope they're going to be able to name them the Sonics again, and the Thunder would
they will
do that. Just like
I think the league retained all marketing.
Yeah, it is, and it would be like, I'm still mad at the Adams family, the Titans, not allowing the Texans to be the Oilers. Houston's team should be the Oilers in the NFL.
I think the Adams family is mad at themselves for not making the Tennessee Titans the Tennessee Oilers.
Yeah, that was, remember they were the Oilers for a couple of years there, but they should. I'd love if they went back to Houston be the Oilers, but we'll see. I think Seattle. I think they will let them be the Sonics because there's a legacy there, and it's been almost 16 years since they were there last, and people forget Kevin Durant was a rookie in Seattle, and he's talked about being part of the ownership group in Seattle too. So some interesting things, and I think that is going to happen, and. By the end of this decade, Vegas will have all 4 major sports here in Vegas. Who would have thought that 10 years ago?
Crazy.
10 years ago, unthinkable, especially out of the scandal with the official in the NBA. I thought that was going to doom it for forever with Tim Donaghy. I remember seeing Durant come through with the green and gold on with Seattle. What about this idea, Bruce? What about this idea for across sports? You got 1 year to let proper NBA properties or the various league properties and patents and merchandising, maybe 2, and you got a one-time you can have a reboot. Utah could give the Jazz back to New Orleans. I think Memphis would jump at being the Memphis Sounds, don't you, Bryant?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Or how about the Memphis Tams, Memphis Pros? I mean, you got a lot of different ones.
I don't know if they jump at that. They tried that a time or two in throwbacks, and it didn't go over like the Sounds did.
Well, yeah, they dressed the Tams like the A's because that was Charlie Finley.
They did.
Yeah, but no, I would wish to do. I mean, listen. The Wizards' name is. Go back to the Bullets. Forget it.
Go back to the Bullets. Mm-hmm.
That hasn't stopped violence in Washington, Baltimore, one iota. So go back to the Bullets and go back to the Redskins. If you're asking me, and I heard that.
I agree.
The owner, the new Redskins owner, Josh, has been thinking about not necessarily the Redskins, but whether he wants to stay with the Commanders. He does have. I think they give new owners like a 4 or 5 year leeway if they do want to change the name. They give them that time to do it. So he's still in that period. No, I agree with you. I wish they would. I wish the Jazz would go back to New Orleans. It doesn't make sense in Utah. But I kind of like Pelicans too because that's sort of a unique name. So we'll see.
Yeah, I like Pelicans too. But I swear I still think of that is baseball. Proud minor league baseball in New Orleans, but minor league baseball will never go back to New Orleans. When they got out of there with Zephyr / Baby Cakes, Bryant, we saw the end of that, and it was sad.
Yeah, it was. Great name.
Yeah, it's funny. The only time I ever walked in the Superdome is when they had it laid out for baseball. It wasn't for minor league, but they played a exhibition game there in '89, I think, and they actually had it set up for baseball inside the Superdome. So
I want to say the SEC tournament one time was in the Dome. I know Ole Miss has played Tulane and maybe even LSU at the Dome in baseball. And in the first or second year of the Dome, the Pelicans played there and were affiliated with the Cardinals.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, they did. I guess they did play more in baseball there than I thought. It just looked kind of funny. All those years I'd seen it on TV, and the one time I go inside, they got it laid out for baseball. But this is over 30 years ago when I was in there, so long time ago.
Yes, stick to football in the Dome now.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes, all the way.
Yeah, speaking of football, Brett and I talked about these Caleb Williams comments yesterday. That is going to be in a book that is going to be released in about around September by Seth Wickersham about kind of everything that was going on before the draft, how they were trying to do everything possible to avoid going to Chicago, even thinking about maybe trying to figure out if he could go to the UFL and then be a free agent after that. What did you make of all these Caleb Williams comments?
Well, it doesn't surprise me because we heard this stuff about his dad and him acting spoiled, acting entitled. We saw it his last year at SC, in which he did not perform all that well, and crying in the stands after the Washington game like a baby. That was not a good look. I've been reading some of the stuff about the Wickersham book too, and they're trying to bring up, well, John Elway did it. Well, Elway was a different situation. He had baseball, and that was his other threat. Now, he would have followed through on that. He wasn't going to be as good a baseball player as a football player, but I mean that was the other thing about Elway. He's going to be in the Yankee organization, so that's a bad comparison. But this really strikes of a very spoiled, very entitled athlete, and I can't envision him being received well in Chicago, even if he eventually came around. Okay, we'll do it. And by the way, all this talk about Ben Johnson coming in, and this is the Bears are now a contender. How many assistant coaches have been elevated and they don't cut it? There's too much of this hype with Caleb. I thought there was coming out of college, and this is not a good look. He's got a clubhouse. He's got to have a quarterback should be a leader, and something tells me he is just not. He's too self-absorbed, and I'm kind of anti. Caleb, the leadership thing is funny. I was talking to the guys in Baton Rouge this morning about Derek Carr, and not that Carr is not what Williams is, but that leadership thing. We heard about the Raiders. Carr was never really a clubhouse leader like you want a quarterback to be, and I just can't see the Bears players rallying beyond Caleb Williams. He's just too self-absorbed. I mean, he's like Cristiano Ronaldo. This is a team game, and I think that's a bad look.
Bruce, I'm glad you brought up soccer. Brian and I were talking about soccer earlier
Yeah,
this
we
week,
were.
and I said I would ask you this. So I turned on the soccer one morning last weekend, and the announcers with those great accents are talking about the best 17-year-old in the sport since Pele. Tell me everything you know about the best 17-year-old in the sport since the 58 World
Brett,
Cup
he
in Pele.
scored yesterday. He scored for Barcelona yesterday.
Lamine Yamal. Now he's from Mataró, which is my wife's family. He lives there, just north of Barcelona. So I know exactly where he's from. I mean, the neighborhood he grew up, and he is breathtaking. And to think, I mean, he was still 16 during the Euros last year. He turned 17, I think, the day before the final. Yeah, he just scored yesterday against Espanyol as Barcelona wraps up La Liga. He scored a breathtaking goal Sunday against Real Madrid in the El Clasico. He is. I think he could set records that we haven't even thought about as far as compensation for an athlete all time. And it's distorted a bit now because the Saudis are paying Cristiano Ronaldo. And whether, and I'm not sure the Saudis are going to be doing that too much longer. So they've sort of forever skewed that market. But, yeah, I mean, he is, is he better than Messi? That's a big ask. Is he better than Pele? It's still too soon to tell, but he could be, and a long way to go, but he looks like he's got everything. I caution this because a kid like that who is so much speed and finesse, an injury or two could really slow him down. So it's still too soon to say he'll be better than Messi or Pele, but for now, it looks like he's on course.
Why do you think the Saudi royal family may be backing off? Because that potentially could impact LIV and the merger of the tours.
Yeah, it could. Well, I know in the soccer world, they have backed off a little bit. They distorted the market a couple of years ago when they poured all this money in. And they have not been, here, good example, Vinicius at Real Madrid, he was being courted by the Saudis, and he's up for a contract renewal at Real Madrid. And the Saudis, the last 5 or 6 months, apparently haven't even been in contact with him. So they've pulled back a little bit from putting, and maybe it'll affect LIV too. I don't know, but they have in their own league there. It seems like they've pulled back a little bit. Vinicius, the latest example, and they did for about 2 years there really distort the soccer market for some of the money they paid guys. I mean, the deals that they gave out were astronomical, $100 million a year to Cristiano Ronaldo and some other really huge deals. But they've backed off that a little bit. We'll see how it goes the next few years.
What could the 17-year-old bring? What's his market?
He could be $1 billion enterprise when you figure in the marketing and everything like that, the worldwide reach. So I think that's what if he doesn't get hurt, I mean, his career earnings will be in the billions, I believe.
With the B, wasn't it?
With the B word, yeah.
That's right.
With the B word.
Bruce, I turn on sports and news, and I sometimes can't believe what I'm watching. This week, through the streets of Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, a procession, a motorcade, and it was led by 2 electric Teslas in a place that's 80 years ago they were eating locusts, and then they discovered oil, and now they have streets of gold, but I saw Teslas leading the motorcade. Did you notice that?
I watched. It didn't, but now that I think about it, yeah, you're right. I mean, I didn't.
Electric cars in the birthplace of the gasoline oil engine.
Well, I didn't. My wife went there with her friend. She was in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, which is similar there with the oil money. She said she'd never seen this place as modern and as clean as either of those places. And apparently, the building's 25 years old or too old. They put new ones up. So, it's a different world.
Unreal.
By the way, have you noticed? I mean, the FIFA had Infantino was there with President Trump because the World Cup's coming to the USA, so he was coddling up to him, and he was late for a FIFA meeting that got, which was in South America. So Infantino was right there, and also Saudis are hosting the World Cup in 2034. So even the FIFA guys were there. In the Saudis too. They're going to host the World Cup in 34.
What host city next year for the North America World Cup do you want to go to?
I'd like to go to any of them, really.
The prices are
for
outrageous.
me, they're going to be, they'll be at the Rams Stadium in L.A. They'll be, I think, in the 49ers Stadium. They are going to have a couple in Mexico City and a couple in Canada. New York, I did go to in 94 when they were in the Rose Bowl. I went to the third place game that year. I'd go anywhere, to watch one of those, but it's coming up quicker than we think. It'll be, this time next year we'll be warming up for the World Cup.
Good weekend to be in Baltimore with the Preakness and with the Nationals and Orioles playing all weekend. Break down the Preakness for us, Bruce.
Yeah, last time they'll run it at this version of Pimlico. They're tearing down the track and supposedly rebuilding it, which I think is a complete political thing. There is no reason to rebuild a track in that part of Baltimore and have it be the economic generator. I'm on my soapbox here, but you're going to build it. You're going to spend the money to build a track. Build it somewhere else instead of that neighborhood in Baltimore. There's a reason Pimlico's run down. Nobody wants to go there. And they have another track, Laurel, between there and Washington, where they're going to run the Preakness at least next year, maybe even in 27. Much better facility, better place, better access. That should be the head of Maryland racing, or build the track north of Baltimore, where they used to have places like Havre de Grace and some others. I don't like what this just strikes me as political stuff with Pimlico. Anyway, about the race tomorrow. No sovereignty, so we don't have a Triple Crown winner this year. Journalism, though, gets another crack at it after a runner-up in the Derby. We will have good weather there tomorrow. It's raining some today in Baltimore, not tomorrow, though, so the track should be good. Some interesting ones. Bob Baffert is back in this one. Goal-oriented. This is an interesting, not a super long shot. He's only had 2 races. He's won them both. He'll be sent hard. He's on the number 1 post. Florian Pratt, his jockey from France. River Thames, Todd Pletcher, horse. Pletcher, all the races he's won, and he's won lots of Triple Crown races. He has never won the Preakness. Close second in the Fountain of Youth behind Sovereignty. Erod Ortiz up, could be worth a look. Local horse, Pay Billy, had to win a race, the Frederica Pesci at Laurel, to qualify here for the Preakness. You get a big price on him. He's a local horse, and we will see about him. Journalism, I mentioned him, of course, in Sandman back from the Derby. I'm going to go with goal-oriented. Bob Baffert, I'd like him to stick it out to all these Triple Crown guys if he can. And Preakness has had surprises in the past, so that's who my pick will be tomorrow in Baltimore.
All right, I like it. Bruce, what do you like tonight in this basketball game? Celtics at Knicks in New York City at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks about a 2.5-point favorite right now.
Yeah, I'll be on this soapbox just for a second. I have at times with the referees this year and not calling. I could do this forever, and this has been going on since Bob Cousy was in the league. They don't call guys traveling star players, but and I like Jalen Brunson, but nobody has ever carried the ball over more than him on every single bounce of the ball, every dribble. They could literally call it on him every time he has the ball, but nobody his entire career has stepped up and told him you can't do that. And the NBA lets it go. It just infuriates me. I was a ref long ago, and I can't. That infuriates me. Having said that, I like Boston to force Game 7 and still win this series. They joked on TNT the other night that Boston must feel like it's ahead 5-0 in this series. I mean, they've had double-digits leads in every game. They kicked it away 3 times.
Yeah.
I don't know that Tatum being out in the short term hurts them that much. I think Tatum actually hurt the Celtics more than helped them, especially down the stretch in Games 1 and 2. It was him taking all those bad shots and those threes that they kept missing, and he wasn't helping them down the stretch. They've got enough other guys to step up, and the pressure's actually on the Knicks a little bit now. They're actually favored here tonight. I just like the dynamic for Boston. They blew out the Knicks the other night. I think they win tonight and force a Game 7 and win that one. They ain't dead yet. So I'm going with Boston tonight. Also an over. This series, I thought it'd be higher scoring than it was at the start because it was in the regular season. They still got the total 210, 211, too low. Over tonight at MSG.
Oh, I love it. That should be a lot of fun. Bruce, before we let you go, where can we find more of you?
Yeah, thanks, Bryant. Check me out online at the good old places, VegasInsider.com and CBSSportsline.com, Sportsline.com picks there. Also, the new places with a different twist for picks, picksandparlays.com and winnersandwhiners.com.
Bruce, 99 days until the start of college football.
Holy
tomorrow will be 14 weeks, day 98 tomorrow. You ready?
Good Lord.
I'm ready. I guess maybe, hopefully I see you in Atlanta. Hope I can come with you guys down there.
You're
That's
set.
coming up pretty quick, too.
Sure
isn't it?
is.
Sure is.
Be here before we know it. Good Lord.
Yeah.
It's all coming fast.
In July, and then I think I'll do the ACC after the SEC this year because I want to see Belichick up there in Charlotte. We'll see.
Sounds like a good time. Bruce, enjoy the weekend. We'll talk to you again next Friday.
Okay, boys. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Bruce.
you.
Bruce Marshall joining us every week from Vegas Insider and CBS Sports, talking wagering, a little bit of everything every week with Bruce Marshall.
Countdown is on for college football, isn't it?
It sure is. I mean, we're in May right now. Before we know it, we'll be talking media days, and then we'll be ready to go. I mean, it's crazy how fast it goes.
It's already 2026 at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. Head down there and see all the new Silverados and also the new 26 Equinox at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch, first exit down Highway 78 after you cross into Mississippi, Kraft Goodman Road, and you're there. Nobody with more new Silverados than at All-Star, where all the Chevys are. May is your month to finance your new Silverado as low as 0.9. That's less than 1%, 0.9. That means it's less than 1%. Your good credit deserves it. You get it at All-Star. If you're law enforcement, educator, first responder, healthcare worker, military, recent grads, there will be a bunch of pomp and circumstance played this weekend, so it'll be a lot of grads. You get an instant extra $500 bonus back, All-Star, with every pre-owned truck and SUV you can be looking for. If you don't see it on the lot at All-Star, ask Jeff or ask Drew DePriest or any member of the team, and they'll find it for you, and they'll find it for you fast. If you have any vehicle you want to sell, bring it to All-Star in Olive Branch, and you get the most money back for it today. Wherever this summer takes you, Drew and everyone at All-Star in Olive Branch wish you and your family happy and safe travels. Together, let's drive. And for more information, go to allstarautogroup.com.
Well, we need to get to a break, but breaking news that just came out within the last 30 minutes, Brock Purdy, San Francisco 49ers quarterback, has agreed to a $265 million extension with $181 million in guarantees.
That makes him very relevant, doesn't it?
That's right. From Mr. Irrelevant to,
Mr.
right.
Bank account.
Yeah, that is insane.
Richest man in Iowa now, isn't he?
Yeah, that is crazy. Good for him. That is a big number. And, hey, a lot of people wondering what they were going to do with him. And now we know that 49ers
they were going to pay him.
Super committed to Brock Purdy as
he win
their
a Super Bowl?
quarterback future. I'm going to say no.
I am too.
I'm going to say no. But, I mean, in that offense, it feels like they can put anybody back there and they can make it work. So we'll see. But I will go no on that one. Well, we talked the Preakness with Bruce Marshall. Let's get to a break. When we come back, we're talking more Preakness. Dick Girardi, he joins us next.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, Automatic Gates Construction tailors custom-made solutions for all your residential, commercial, and industrial needs, including repairs, maintenance, and installation. Automatic Gates Construction specializes in designing and installing automatic gates and fencing that seamlessly blends security, functionality, and aesthetic appeal. Elevate the safety and efficiency of your property with a premium gate solution. Automatic Gates Construction at myautomaticgates.com.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied.
Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Extraordinary events come once in a blue moon, and right now, even the most extravagant luxuries are well within reach. The one and only May sale is back at Sissy's Log Cabin, and you can save up to 50% on nearly everything in the store. This is your chance to get the service, selection, and experience that makes you feel like family. But hurry, the best pricing of the year ends May 31st. Don't miss the one and only May sale at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Mid-South, it's the right time to buy, and the right place is Gossett Hyundai on the Pike. And we're ready to beat the competition on your new ride, so hurry! Get to Gossett Hyundai on the Pike for 2024 Hyundai Tucson Hybrid Limited All-Wheel Drive. Only $36,921. How about 2024 Hyundai Santa Cruz XRT All-Wheel Drive? We Gossett $37,180. And beautiful 2024 Hyundai Palisade Limited Front-Wheel Drive $44,277. There's only one left at this price, so you've got to hurry. Plus, every Gossett Hyundai comes with America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So get to Gossett Hyundai today, 1870 Covington Pike, or online anytime at HyundaiGossett.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
23 MSRP 41,870, Palisade RU 798,741, MSRP 50,184, Santa Cruz RH 126,339, MSRP 42,180, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 895, excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit, dealer stock only.
Uncorn flavor, Corky's barbecue. Cooking it up, down home way. Hickory smoke flavor like the good old days.
Hey y'all, Jimmy Stovall here with Corky's Barbecue. With over 175,000 cars served in our drive-thru, 4,000 online pickup orders, and 1,500 party packs delivered to offices and events every year. Corky's is your trusted go-to barbecue for parties. Our party packs start at just $6.99 per person. You can choose 1, 2, or 3 meat combos and pick your favorite sides. And as you know, Corky's always gives you plenty of food, so you never worry about running out. Whether it's pickup or delivery, we've got you covered. Corky's makes it easy to impress your guests. Visit Corky'sBBQ.com to order for your next event.
Uncorn flavor, Corky's barbecue.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. MPD just arrived on the scene of this wreck. 40 eastbound at Abilene. There's a little bit of rubbernecking going on right now. It's getting heavier over here on this side of town anyway. This time of day on 40 eastbound at Abilene with this crash. It's got traffic a little bit slow up through here. It's already headed up towards the Fayette County area. That got busy a few minutes ago. A little bit of radar out there earlier just past New Airline Road. Hey, dandelions, crabgrass, Lawn Solutions says not a problem. Call Lawn Solutions here in Memphis at 867-5626. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you live and local inside our Family Leisure Studios. And joining us now to talk the Preakness, Dick Girardi joins us. Dick, thanks so much for joining us. Last time we talked with you, it was the day before the Kentucky Derby, and the winner of the Kentucky Derby was Sovereignty. Tell us about the Kentucky Derby, that race, Sovereignty's win, but then also this storyline of Sovereignty not racing at the Preakness, and kind of this, what's going on behind the scenes about maybe these races being too close together.
So first, the Derby. Sovereignty, I thought, got what turned out to be the correct trip in the Derby. Hot pace, contested. He was sitting right near the back, all alone, no competition around him, very comfortable, and then came with that just gigantic run. And was obviously extremely well prepared by one of the best in the history of the game, Bill Mott, to get it done. So no surprise that he ran well. The disappointment for me wasn't that journalism finished second. I mean, I loved him. I thought he was absolutely going to win. But what happened at the beginning of the race when the Citizen Bull took a right turn and kind of harassed might be the right word, like 6 or 7 horses to his inside, and unfortunately one of those was journalism. He lost his position. I thought he'd be 5th early. He was 10th. He had to do a lot of running just to get back into the correct position. Then he made the big run and got tired. So give Sovereignty credit. I just thought if journalism had had a little better start in that first 100 yards, maybe he finds a way to win. But, it's one of those you'll never know. So one of the Preakness, disappointing that Sovereignty's not here. No question. The best part about the Preakness is, right, it's the first time we get to see the Derby winner. Now, this is the 3rd time since 2019. 2019, a little bit of extenuating circumstances. Country House, remember, was put up to win the Derby after Maximum Security got DQ'd. Well, he was sick, and Maximum Security didn't run. And then 3 years ago, we had the Crazy Rich Strike. He didn't run. And now we got Sovereignty. This is becoming a pattern. So, yes, we need to change it. We need to go 4 weeks, 4 weeks. I'm hoping that with new Belmont Park and new Pimlico coming online in 2027 and a TV contract that's up, NBC's contract with the Preakness is up after next year, I'm hoping we can come to some kind of consensus where we can run the Derby. 4 weeks later, we run the Preakness. 4 weeks later, we run the Belmont.
How much was it Sovereignty? Never mind the 2 weeks. How much was it for Sovereignty's owners go, okay, we can stop now and always have the Kentucky, well, they will always have the Kentucky Derby winner, but it can't get picked apart, can't get injured. How much were they looking at stud fees?
I mean, normally, right, I would say a lot, but in this case, keep in mind the owner is Godolphin. This is the ruling family of Dubai.
Uh-huh.
They're not worried about it.
No. I wonder what they are worried about, Dick. What do you think they want? Air conditioning is about all they sweat?
Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, exactly. But look, they had the most incredible weekend maybe in modern horse racing history. They won the Oaks on Friday, the Derby on Saturday, the 2,000 guineas at Newmarket on Saturday, and the 1,000 guineas, which is the equivalent of the Derby and the Oaks on Sunday in Newmarket in England. So, I mean, it's the most powerful stable in the world. So, yeah, I don't think that was an issue. They'd never won the Derby, so obviously that was a huge thing for them to finally win it. I actually thought that when the horse crossed the finish line, I'm thinking, you know what, Belmont is not going to want to run in the Preakness because that's just kind of his style. But I'm thinking maybe the Sheiks want to do it because, you got a shot at the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
They've done everything else. But no, Bill announced, it was like 48 hours later, that they were going to the Belmont again. I don't question Bill Mott. He's one of the best to ever do it. I just am disappointed at the way this has evolved, that we don't automatically, as we always used to, have the Derby winner going to the Preakness. So from that standpoint, it's disappointing. The good horses can run in 2 weeks and duplicate their form. Baffert's won the Preakness. 5 of his Derby winners came back 2 weeks later, also won the Preakness. So it's very doable, but we're dealing with what we're dealing with. I'm hoping the powers that be can make a decision here and see if we can't lengthen this. I don't care what the distance is between the races. I just want all the best horses in all 3 races.
Dick Girardi with us, courtesy of BetOnline.ag, and we talked to Dick for all the 3 big races. And you mentioned the Middle Eastern, oil-rich countries, how big they are into horse racing. How good of owners are they? How good are they for the foal market and development? Because we saw this week with the president in the Middle East how much horses, show ponies, and showing off in opulence means to them. But are they in it for the right reasons? Are they good for the horse racing community?
I know one group that thinks they're good. The sales companies, they love them because they spend lots of money at the sales. Look, I think overall for the kind of horses they've bred, the races that they've won, the American trainers that they've hired, the worldwide trainers that they've hired, I just like to see really good horses, and they have the best. So from that standpoint, it's fine. I don't know enough about the politics and all the other stuff that goes into it. There's certainly some questions. I mean, it's just ridiculous that you have so much money that you can overwhelm the competition. But it's in some ways, it's not different than the Dodgers and the Yankees in baseball, right? They have the most money. They got the biggest TV contracts. They can pay the most of. It's similar to that. I just like to see good horses racing. So I guess from that standpoint, I'm okay with it.
Wait till they decide we can buy everything in the United States.
Well, there is that problem, and keep in mind a lot of the oil-rich countries now own Premier League soccer clubs, like significant, which is as you guys know, that's one of that league is. I mean, it even dwarfs the NFL. It's kind of hard to believe, but the money that gets thrown around for these Premier League clubs like Liverpool and Manchester City, and that's another place where you better have money. You ain't.
I wish one of them would fall in love with Ole Miss and SEC football.
You know what? The cool thing is it could happen now, and you
I
can
know.
spend the money. It isn't like you're precluded from buying players these days.
I mean, what's the linebacker to them?
That's right.
Nothing.
It's a great
Pocket
point.
change.
That is a great point. Let's talk about some of these horses racing tomorrow. You mentioned Journalism, the overwhelming favorite for the Kentucky Derby, favorite again tomorrow at the Preakness. You talked about his run at the Kentucky Derby, just kind of got caught up early. What do you expect from him tomorrow?
I expect a great race. I didn't particularly think he cared for the sloppy track. When you watch his action during the race on a fast track versus a sloppy track, I just didn't think he was as smooth. But more importantly than that, it was just a lost position early that I just think he had to use too much energy too soon. It's interesting. I walked into Pimlico yesterday afternoon, and the first person I bumped into was Michael McCarthy, Journalism's trainer, and he said, "Hey, let's go. We're going to the paddock. We're going to school them, get them ready for the race, get them a sense of what's going on." So I got an up-close look at Journalism. He looked phenomenal to me. He did not look like a horse that is all in or he's not going to be able to come back in 2 weeks and run. He looked great. I mean, he's a picture. He's a dream kind of horse just to look at. So I expect him to run his best race. And, I'm a buyer figure guy. I'm part of the team and have been for 30 years. And we don't see this that often. Journalism's last three figures, all three of them are better than any figure any horse in this race has ever run. That's what we call in our buyer world omnifigs. Yeah. That's about a 90% win. These horses almost never lose. So that's how I'm looking at Journalism tomorrow. I don't think he's losing.
And we got deprived with that horse taking that hard right. We got deprived of a real shot at Super Horse Triple Crown. I love the buyer devotees, and you were among it, and it's worked. It's almost like Coach Saban in that Airbnb ad when he goes, "It's the rules. It's the buyer numbers. I mean, you just tell us what they are."
Yeah, now, I mean, that's the data. You can analyze it all the way you want, but it comes down to one thing: who's the fastest? That's right. And that's what the numbers tell you. Ultimately, the numbers are just a distillation of how fast the horse ran in relation to the speed of the surface the horse ran on, and the numbers tell you that story. The only other horse that really interests me, and look, there's some good horses in the race. There's no question about that. But I'm fascinated by this 8 horse, the Steve Asmussen horse. I think if anybody's beating Journalism, and I'm hoping nobody's beating him, it could be Clever Again. I loved his last race at Oaklawn in Arkansas, and what I thought about it was he got 102 buyer or 101 buyer figure, and that number, if he gets loose in the lead, that makes him dangerous. But the scenario I'm seeing over and over again in my mind is Clever Again, loose in the lead, Journalism starting to make a run at him at the top of the stretch. Those two pulling away from the field, Journalism romping by Clever Again to win by 3. I got the 2-8 exacta for enough times that if I ever come to Memphis, I'll go after it.
If you ever come to Memphis, Dick, you ain't paying for nothing. We taking you out.
That is absolutely right. Well, Dick, it's going to be fun tomorrow, and as always, thank you so much for joining us, and let's do this again soon.
Sounds like a plan. And one prop for you, I'll betonline.ag. Over, under a length and a half margin of victory. I gave that out at the Derby. Turned out to be a push. I'm going over again. I think Journalism is going to win.
Love it.
I love it. Thanks, Dick.
You got it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Dick Girardi joining us from betonline.ag. Check out BetOnline for the most up-to-date odds and props for the 150th running of the Preakness Stakes. Always fun having Dick Girardi on talking horse racing. And we said it after the Derby, we're going to have him on during college basketball season a couple times to talk hoops as well.
Definitely. We definitely have to do that. And, we joke about the Middle Eastern oil-rich countries. It just takes one to get a fascination with something, and then they control it.
I mean, who was watching golf one day and was like, you know what, we could start our own league. I mean, just feels like it's kind of one of those.
Who
things.
Who would have ever thought it?
I mean, nobody.
Nobody saw it coming.
Not a soul. And so, it could. Who knows?
And we should have with the horse racing market and the foals, FOALS. We really should have, and I think people should be alert to what is the next sports fascination. We're already seeing it at colleges and universities with donations for computer technology and science and research. They're already donating like that at a lot of colleges.
Yeah, so who knows? Definitely gotta keep an eye on this.
All right, do we want to pick?
I was about to just ask you, do you have picks for the Preakness?
I do. I mean, it's just impossible to argue with those buyer numbers and what Dick was saying. I'm going to go Journalism to win, Sandman to place, goal-oriented to show in my fourth horse, the River Thames, so I'm a 1-2-6-7.
We're very close in ours. I was ready before we started, and I was telling Landon is my witness, I was ready to proclaim journalism is dead after what we saw at the Kentucky Derby.
I can attest.
He was there.
Save that
he
headline.
Saw it. Yeah, I mean, you got to save it. But then after talking to Dick Girardi, I'm going to go with journalism.
Alive and well.
Alive and well. Going to win tomorrow. I'm also going Sandman to place. I'll go American Promise to show. And then my fourth, goal-oriented. So that's 2-7-3-1. Landon, do you have Preakness picks?
1-2-3-7 on the box.
Yeah. I'm not going to pick journalism to win. I'm going to go with Sandman to win. Place next, correct?
Yes.
Place. My place, I'm going to have journalism there. Then give me clever.
It has a place. It has a good place, a prominent place.
Right.
Yes, I would say as well. And then give me clever again and goal oriented.
Right.
So I guess for me that would be 7-2-8-1.
All right. Lock it in, I guess.
It's
1,
locked
2,
in.
7, and 8.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
Love it.
There it is.
A lot of the same.
Well, only 9 horses, Brett. I mean,
good point. Good point.
When you said that earlier, I
love Dick's idea of 4-4-4 on the spacing.
Oh, that's a great idea.
The new contracts, the new tracks, and this is something. And I went one time to a Preakness and I don't remember it that well. I must tell you, I don't know if I'm going to miss the old barn in Northwest Baltimore.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't think I'll miss it either, Brett. We'll let other people miss it.
We were going to try the double Preakness in the afternoon and Orioles at night, but it was quickly scuttled.
Well, yeah, I believe it. I can believe it.
It was way too much. We were in the infield, and I promise you, from that studio at Flynn Broadcasting, I could see the horses as well as I could in that infield.
Yeah. Infield, everyone likes to talk about it, but the sightline's not great.
Sounded a lot more fun than in practicality.
I believe it.
It was not. I mean, I guess just to say I've been to one is about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's right. You can say you've been to one.
But
the
details are sketchy.
That's hilarious.
Trust me.
That is great. Well, hopefully you'll be able to remember tomorrow's Preakness.
The whole behavior was sketchy.
Well, hopefully you'll behave better tomorrow when you're watching it from your house.
I will.
A little different,
I promise.
Yes. Well, it will be fun. I'm excited to watch the Preakness tomorrow. But
if you won the $1 billion Powerball, would you have a horse empire?
Sure, why not? That actually does sound fun. That sounds.
It's my number. I promise you, when I win the Powerball, not if, when.
There you go.
And it's one of those big ones. I'm starting my own stables. I've told this many times on there. I'm starting my own stables, and it's going to be the Sticky Fingers stables from the Stones album Sticky Fingers.
Okay.
And every horse will be a lyric, a name, a song, some reference to the Stones.
I like that. That's a great idea. I mean, you have it planned out. Mine isn't as well planned out. I've actually never thought about it until now, but it does sound like a good idea.
Wouldn't it be great? I mean, coming down the stretch, give me shelter.
Paint it black as a horse. Man, that would be great.
From Paint It Black, I see a red door. Down the stretch, here comes I see a red door.
Why not have both?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, at that point,
I'm with you. I'm with you, Brett. That's awesome.
Titles.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I think that's amazing. A really, really good idea. Well, we need to get to another break, and when we return, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
This is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roofing. I have been told that my ads are all business and I should share some of my personality. Okay, I love tongue twisters, like the one about the terrific tasting toast by Taste Tester Toaster, or Big Black Bugs, Bleed Blue Blood, and of course Sally and her seashells. Or of course the ever-present I'm a Mother Pheasant Plucker, I plug Mother Pheasants. Okay, enough of that. If you want an honest, fair, reasonable roofing, siding, or gutter estimate, call Five-Ash Roofing at 367-0050. That's exactly what you'll get. No empty promises, no high-pressure sales tactics, and no fast-talking salesman trying to convince you that today and only today is the best day for you to get a new roof. For the record, the best day to get a new roof is when you're ready for one. Five-Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Orange Days delivers the savings you need for the life you love. Shop a wide selection of equipment at your local dealer, including America's #1 selling compact tractor. And get your perfect match delivered to your door. Designed for comfort and built for performance. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,000 off select compact tractors. The sales ending soon. See the details at KimonoOrangeDays.com.
Jenkins Floors and More invites you to the retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake. Also stores in Cleveland, Mississippi and Little Rock. They specialize in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds. Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, or family projects call 662-469-9350 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
Wally Hatchet serves breakfast all day and Southern comfort food for lunch. Hatchet fans love our huge omelets, breakfast Sammys, scrambles, and chicken and waffles. For lunch, check out the Mississippi pot roast, chicken fried steak, grilled meatloaf are one of our best-selling burgers, lipstick on a cow. Pickup, delivery, and catering are also available. Visit WallyHatchets.com to order online. Wally Hatchets is located at 6439 Summer Avenue and open from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday. Wally Hatchets. Count your blessings, not your calories.
Moving is stressful, but Black Tie Moving can take the worry out of the process. Whether you're moving across town or across country, moving your home or your office, or personal moving concierge from Black Tie Moving will work with you to design a home that perfectly fits your budget and needs. And they're available 24/7 to answer any questions you have. Give Black Tie Moving a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktie.com/Memphis to get your personal, no obligation quote from the moving experts at Black Tie Moving.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams Memorial Day
Sportstime on Sports 56 and 95 FM. Once again, Brett Arthur and Brian Davis.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, here's a fun big number. Remember when the Reds were the next big thing and they had all these young players and they were going to be great and everyone was afraid of them, and now, they're really struggling. Kind of almost like what feels like is happening with the Orioles a little bit, where they have all these young hitters and everyone's afraid of them, and now they're really struggling. This big number comes from the Cincinnati Reds and one of those young superstars, the young superstar on that team, Elly De La Cruz. The number is 4. Elly De La Cruz is 4 hits away from reaching 300 hits, 150 RBI, and 100 stolen bases for his career in fewer games than any player since RBI became official in 1920. He's entering his 304th game of his career. The record is 328 games by Hanley Ramirez. So plenty of time to get those 4 hits to go 300, 150, and 100. It looks like he'll do it, and that's definitely huge for Elly De La Cruz. And Elly De La Cruz, a guy that had some injuries last year and missed some games. So, that's not a guy that's been out there every single night.
He's box office superstar for
fantastic.
Sure. My big number is 70. That's the cut line at the PGA Championship. It's the low 70 and ties to make the cut at the 107th PGA Championship at Quail Hollow in Charlotte. And the reason why and ties really matters, because right now we have 69 players at +1.
Oh, man.
So then that brings in the +2s. That blows up to 84 players.
Holy cow.
All the way down with the cut at +2, +3, and behind that it's outside of it. So it's going to bounce around to +1 or +2, but it's still going to be low 70 in ties. And low 70 would still not get in two of our picks. Justin Thomas, Landon's pick, will not make. Well, he's +3. I don't think it'll get down. I don't think he'll get down to that. He's T85 right now. Patrick Reed, John's shot pick, will not get in. He's T97 at +4. Rory McIlroy had a pretty good round going. Had gotten it to 4 under, has dropped a couple of shots. He's -2 through 13. He's at T60. John Vegas, man, look at him wearing the baseball logo.
Oh,
one of those guys had a hole-in-one from one of them yesterday, and the leader. This may be the best move Manfred's made this year.
How about that? I mean, it is.
Who says I can't compliment Manfred?
Yeah, that's right. There you go. You just did it right there. But no, it's been fun. Look, the guy we talked about yesterday, Matt Fitzpatrick. I mean, he's right there now at T2. So maybe you see him pull something out.
Let's fast forward. This is the leaderboard at 1 o'clock Sunday. Vegas, Pavone, Fitzpatrick, Homa, Smalley, Thor Bjornsson, Bezadenhout, Fox, Poston, Heisen soon.
Okay.
Is that Garrard, Higo, Spahn, Rye, Pendrith. Oh, my.
Yeah. I mean, I still see Scheffler here at 4 under, kind of hanging around at 6.
Yeah, I kind of conveniently omitted him.
So, I mean, I think you can at least save some people of wait till Scheffler heats up in the final round and takes it. But outside of that, yeah, it could be real sketchy.
Outside of him, I mean, we know Robert McIntyre. Most don't. Noren, Riley, Kim, Stevens, Hall, Cole.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of people watching basketball Sunday afternoon if that's the case. So hopefully not, but we'll see.
I'm not going to recall every name again, but to all those families, we apologize.
That's right. Now, I hope he wins. Whoever
hope they win.
Hope they
see
win.
you in Memphis. I'll apologize to you in Memphis.
And apologize in person. Well, we got to get to another break. Before we do that, let me remind you this week in perfect time, head down to Olive Branch and check out Frontier Western Store. Family owned and operated since 1967, Frontier Western is your one-stop shop for some of the biggest brands. Check out Frontier's world-famous boot showroom. Whether it's work boots or dress boots, Frontier has you covered for the entire family with plenty of in-stock proven classics like Ariat, Dam Post, and Durango. Frontier Western Store is also your one-stop shop for Carhartt in the Mid-South, and they've got you covered with thousands of other brands when it comes to shirts and jeans. Need a new pair of jeans? Well, Frontier has you covered with the biggest brands from Ariat all the way to Wrangler, and you'll love how easy it is to find the perfect size and style for you. Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know you'll be getting the best deals. Head down to 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch and check out the entire selection. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Sundays, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Head down there, check out Frontier Western Store. A reminder, we're out early today. Ole Miss and Auburn, they kick off Game 2 of their weekend series tonight at 6 o'clock. We'll have the full pregame show at 5:30. So when we return from this break, we're going to talk a lot of PGA championships. Dan Reardon from Camo X, he'll join us talk that. We'll also get to Crunch Time. We'll do all of that next on Sports Time.
Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. If you are a first-time guest or have dined with us countless times, I want to thank you for making us part of your lives. Whether you're celebrating with the crowd or planning a cozy date night on the town, Napa Cafe can provide you an extraordinary evening. We have 5 dining rooms, including our private wine cellar, our Jan's room for 2 guests, and the Eleanor room for parties up to 60. Sit back, relax, and celebrate. Leave the cooking to us. Come see me at Napa Cafe, 5101 Sanderlin Avenue. We're open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. We also offer curbside pickup from our full menu. For details on our stay-in, dine-out menu or reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. Come join us. We can't wait to serve you.
Congratulations to Napa Cafe, celebrating 27 years of great food and service for you. Napa Cafe.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at TriumphAutoSales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
Jenkins Floors and More invites you to the retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake. Also stores in Cleveland, Mississippi and Little Rock. They specialize in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds. Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, or family projects call 662-469-9350 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
Memphis Public Links has so much going on right now. Audubon is right around the fairway. Wait until you see when this thing is a finished product. Fox Meadows is in great shape. The Links at Pine Hill is now a masterpiece of a place to play, as are really all the other Memphis public golf courses. Galloway is playing like a championship course. They just finished the 75th year of the OPO, and Overton Park is now talked about, and that layout all across the state. And by the way, folks, it's so easy to make a tee time. The hard part is getting your buddies to pick their time. You go online to memphispubliclinks.com, select your course, then grab your tee time. Simple, easy, and incredibly convenient. Also, on the website is a schedule of upcoming events. There you'll find something that will interest you. Again, if you want to book a tee time or find out more about tournaments or other events at any of the great Memphis public golf courses, go online to memphispubliclinks.com.
This traffic report brought to you by Triangle Meat Company, feeding Memphis since 1967. Open 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, 4790 Summer Avenue. Trust Triangle Meat Company.
Sports 56 traffic.
clean up this wreck on 40 eastbound at Abilene. It's been out here a little bit longer than I thought it would be. It's got traffic slow go over here on this side of town on 40 east at Abilene. Latest wreck in the Midtown area. It looks like one car's got a lot of front end damage on 40 westbound at Chelsea. Again, it's slow go in the westbound lanes. Of course, it's really heavy over in the eastbound lanes trying to get up out of Midtown. Hey, dandelions, crabgrass, Lawn Solutions says give them a call. They'll make your yard look great this spring and summer. Lawn Solutions, 867-5626. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studios, we are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Biloxi. Once again,
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you live and local inside our Family Leisure Studios. And we got to talk the PGA Championship. Joining us to do that, Dan Reardon, the golf reporter from KMOX in St. Louis. He's out at the PGA Championship. Plenty to talk about, Dan, but this leaderboard, it's definitely interesting as we're getting later into Friday. What do you make of some of these names that we're seeing at the top right now?
Well, I would describe the leaderboard as upside down.
Yeah.
You know, there's out of the top 37 names on the leaderboard, there are 6 major winners. 2 of them won their majors, Adam Scott and Keegan Bradley, in a different decade. So when you look at this leaderboard, you know, I said yesterday the leaderboard looked like the leaderboard for another field event.
Mm-hmm.
And it still has it, although we're getting a little electricity. Siwoo Kim just had a hole in one at the 6th. He moved to 5 under. Scheffler just rolled it in to get to 5 under. We're seeing some movement take place late in this round, which we had tremendous movement yesterday from Jonathan Vegas. So, you know, it is Friday. I just think it's been such an unusual, and I think this has been an unusual week. You know, they really never did have a practice round a whole day. They canceled the one on Monday. They had to leave the course on Tuesday, and they were on and off the course on Wednesday. And so when they got to the course and they know this golf course, I'm not talking about getting to know Quail Hollow, but I just think everybody's rhythm and stride was off, and then the conditions allowed for guys who have not done a lot to do a lot.
And Scotty Scheffler, you know, look out for him. Bryson DeChambeau, 3 under, shot 68, 3 under today for the 3 under for the tournament, 3 under today. John Rahm is still there. Rory McIlroy may be making somewhat of a move. He's 3 under for his round today. So they're not handing the Wanamaker out on Friday night, are they?
No, certainly not. And there are a couple of players that we look at who are near the top or at the top of the league. For Jonathan Vegas, prior to last week, he had missed 4 consecutive cuts. And give him credit. He shot 7 under 64 on Thursday, shot 1 under today. And actually, if he played the last 2 holes at par, he'd have a runaway lead at this point in time. But if you could play the last 2 holes at par here, you're probably going to have a runaway lead no matter who you are. And in the case of Max Homa, he had 5 consecutive cuts that he missed in the middle of the season. And out of his last 8 events, he's been over par in 6 of them. So, I mean, these are 2 of the top 3 names on top 4 names on the leaderboard.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just a very, very unusual couple of days. And I will say about the marquee group, the threesome, Scotty referred to it yesterday. I'm not a big fan of that concept, and he is not as well. He said he enjoys playing with Rory. He's friends with Xander. He enjoys that, but he's not a big fan of grouping all those players together. He doesn't think it produces the best possible outcomes.
Mm-hmm. Well, you mentioned,
and I agree. And you know, if it falls that way on the weekend, well, you can't help it. But for on Thursday and Friday, give all those fans, all those patrons, all those lovers of golf that may be the only day or days they can go a little more variety and bolster some of the other pairings.
And you know, when it works, and it rarely has worked, when it works, is great. But most of the time, you know, I go back to years ago, the Olympic at Olympic Club when they did something like that, and I think Tiger and Phil were part of that. And on the first tee, they went off on the 10th tee at Olympic, and one lost his ball in the tree, the other had a double, and it was just like, well, okay, this is over. Now what do we do? You know, it's just I understand the concept. I'm sure television has a great say in what's going on, but I just think that do a little more natural grouping, and I think you'll get better results in the long run.
Dan, do you think TV execs say, "Hey, we want these pairings"?
Oh, there's no question that they have an impact on decisions like that. I mean, and it's a partnership. I mean, as I said, it can work. I mean, we obviously at the Masters saw groupings as it worked extremely well. It's unpredictable, and particularly I think on the opening 2 days when you lock them in for 2 consecutive days, do you have that circumstance come into play? And as I said yesterday, yesterday was not a conversation about who's playing well, but how fair the golf course was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you mentioned Rory McIlroy a minute ago. I mean, probably the biggest story of the year in golf with winning the Masters, now coming into the second major of the year. Struggled yesterday, but right now, 3 under through 14. What have you made of Rory McIlroy through day 1 and day 2?
I think for all 3 of those players, the mood was turned sour on 16 yesterday when all 3 of them ran into mud balls and all 3 of them doubled the hole. And I have not. I've watched a lot of the coverage the first couple of days. I don't see anybody smiling in that group. I believe, I'm not certain, but I believe that Scotty dropped the F-bomb not too long ago, and I know that for a fact Rory threw a club not too long ago. There's no joy in that group. They're not having any fun. And I realize when you're not playing well, it's not fun, but there usually are moments of excitement or something that pleases you. And I just haven't seen any of that out of them. Scheffler in particular, I just think is sort of, he was angry yesterday, and I think they're playing that way right now.
You're seeing a lot of that emotion. Shane Lowry really, really showed out earlier today, and even Xander Schauffele, the defending champion, out of a bunker, swung in one direction and then swung back to the other one in anger. You're seeing a lot of agitation. The mud balls, I don't get that, Dan. I don't see why they're so mad about that when everybody's doing it. And Shane Lowry today landing in a muddy divot, that's what really made him hot.
I will give Shane the benefit of the doubt. That divot should have been repaired. Yes. Somebody left that there. There was a caddy that had a job to do. They didn't do their job, and so he was a victim. As far as the mud balls are concerned, as I said, all 3 of them struggled on that hole yesterday. And Schauffele had mud on his ball and hooked it badly into the water. And then Scheffler stepped up, and he's got 200 yards into the green. He's got mud on his ball, and he saw what happened to Schauffele. Seems to me, at that time, a player as bright as Scheffler says, I'm not going to risk having the same thing happen to me that just happened to Schauffele, and I'm going to just accept the fact that I've got to play some other kind of shot and then make par out of reaching the green or hitting it close and knocking it in. So I agree with, I could agree with his argument to a certain extent about the fairness of the mud balls, but I don't agree with the decision he made in that regard. And I go back long enough, I can tell you through most of his playing career, the late Payne Stewart campaigned constantly for repairing sand divots and never won in that situation. The players have only won the argument in that they've gone to repairing spike marks. But the other thing is they play the golf course as you find it. Is pretty much the attitude you find in major golf championships.
Mm-hmm. Well, I agree with Payne Stewart and have been on that same kind of screed for years. If that's not ground under repair, then I don't know what it is.
Yeah, well, like I said, every one of those arguments makes sense, but I don't know exactly how you. I personally don't like to see the ball played in the player's hands. I mean, I think that's just not for you and me. I love that. But
yeah.
For these guys, I think they just when they can pick the ball up at any given time, I think it goes against the natural talents that they have and their ability to deal with adversity as well as they do.
And the great Jack Nicklaus is with you, and when we get to the Memorial in about 3 weeks, you even see him a lot of years with the different raking tines that he doesn't want the bunkers so pristine.
Well, the U.S. Open is back at Oakmont this year, and Oakmont abandoned. Oakmont used to have the furrowed rakes, and the players eventually objected enough to that. But you used to see at Oakmont grooves through the sand all the way through the golf course, and And the modern players came to that and said, no, well, that's not going to work anymore. So you're right. Nicholas has played around a little bit with the texture of the sand. That's the other thing we talk about. Scotty kept referring to the people as purists. And to me, that sounded like he was talking about people who follow the rules. And he said, this is the last I'm going to say about it. Then he said a little more and then walked away from it. And that's no longer an issue. I'll tell you what the issue is tomorrow. The issue is tomorrow. We've had a breeze the first couple of days. We're going to have sun tomorrow. We're going to have warm temperatures, and we're going to have wind for the first time over the 3 days. In fact, the afternoon says we're going to have 10 to 12 mile-an-hour winds with 20 to 28 mile-an-hour gusts. And you don't want to be playing the back nine on this golf course in 20 to 28 mile-an-hour gusts.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow. One of the bigger names towards the top of the leaderboard, Matt Fitzpatrick, he's still out there. 3 under for the round through 15, a 68 yesterday. What are you seeing from Matt Fitzpatrick, and what do you think he could do this weekend?
He reminds me right this week of Justin Rose at the Masters. He's just continuing to move along on the golf course, not running streaks of birdies or streaks of bogeys. He's just moving along, playing very much like the Matthew Fitzpatrick we saw win at the Country Club. I think he is probably out of the top 5-10 names on the leaderboard, the steadiest performer in the group. Matthew Pabon really held up well, I thought, playing in the last group last year at Pinehurst with Bryson DeChambeau. As I said, Jonathan Vegas will be a great story. He's 4 times he's won on this tour. He's a guy that would be a very entertaining kind of guy to win. I mean, those are all good things. And quite honestly, as poorly as he's played for the first couple of days and as unhappy as has been, Scotty Scheffler is exactly 3 strokes out of the lead going into the weekend. And that's a pretty dangerous position for the number 1 player in the world to be holding.
Who is the gallery favorite? Who is the most popular player there?
I haven't had a sense. Because of the morning group, I didn't get out to see the morning group, so I haven't had a sense of how much love Rory has gotten. But I have to believe that having won 4 times already on this golf course and then coming off that Masters triumph, I have to believe that if Rory climbs the leaderboard a little bit, he'll get the call, and then Scheffler will definitely get the call. The rest of these players, as good as they may be, they're non-entities as far as these fans are concerned. You could get the arguments perhaps that Alex Smalley, who lives in North Carolina, I think he lives in Greensboro, might be have a small group following him. There's really nobody on the leaderboard that anybody gets enthused about simply because they just don't know these players.
Dan, we're heading toward one of the great icebergs. The Titanic is headed toward at the Ryder Cup, with Rory and his popularity, but playing for Europe at the Ryder Cup in New York come fall. What are the fans going to do?
Well, I'll tell you this: if I'm a Ryder Cup fan, I want to be with the European team at this time, because I look at that leaderboard and I've got Matthew Pabon, I've got Matthew Fitzpatrick, I've got let's see who else we got. Well, obviously, Luke Donald's not going to play. We've got a number of the Europeans. There were 6, I think at one time there were 6 English players in the top 20 on the leaderboard. So I think the fortunes have swung very favorably toward the Europeans at this point. Now, we've got time left and a lot to take place. But right now, if I'm Luke Donald, I'm feeling very good about my team.
Yeah. Well, Dan, who ultimately wins it this weekend? Is it Scotty that is kind of sitting in a good spot right now going into the weekend?
I have to believe, as ineffective as he has been in his course management for the first 2 days, if he's within 3 going into the weekend, I have to think he's the player to beat. Not so much because he'll be spectacular, but some of these guys, a couple of years ago, Lee Trevino told me that Jack Nicklaus told him one time, don't pay attention to those guys ahead of on the leaderboard. They'll come back when we get to the weekend. And I think because of that, whether it's Vegas or Oklahoma or, I think Siwoo Kim would be a very popular winner, by the way. Yeah. And I wouldn't write him off entirely.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. That'd be a really fun winner. Well, Dan, thanks so much for giving us some time this afternoon, joining us. Enjoy the rest of the weekend at the PGA Championship, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Enjoy it, gentlemen, and don't bet on my picks.
You got it.
Thanks,
Thank you, Dan.
Dan Reardon joining us, the golf reporter from KMOX in St. Louis, to talk all things PGA Championship as this big three group starting to wrap up, and now Scotty Scheffler, 5 under. He's T4 right now. So he's in a really good spot going into the
Great
weekend.
spot.
Oh, man, it's exactly where he wants to be.
He's just watching the pace right now. A little bit like horse racing.
That's right. And I love what Dan mentioned about how all three of these guys just look like they're not having any fun. And so, it's kind of what we were talking about yesterday about how, Scotty goes home. He had a bad round, probably in his mind, but he goes to sleep and goes, hey, I'm still around. Today, he certainly goes home. Well, that wasn't fun, but I'm T4 right now, or whatever he ends up being. That's in a really, really good spot.
And the rest of those no names, they know where he is.
Exactly. No, they've got their eyes on Scotty. They know exactly where he is at all times. Well, I mentioned it earlier. Another reminder, we're out early today. Ole Miss and Auburn, Game 2 of their weekend series. It'll get kicked off at 6 o'clock. First pitch scheduled. We'll have the entire pregame show starting at 5:30, so we're about to get to an early crunch time. Before we do that, let me remind you about our 5 o'clock sponsor. It's Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Jaguar Bluff City has been the premier Jaguar dealership for the greater Memphis area since 1984, and their talented team is ready to help you find your next perfect vehicle at unbeatable rates. Swing by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City today and check out the 2025 models like the 2025 Range Rover Sport, the 2025 Range Rover Velar, and the 2025 Defender. Test drive the Range Rover Sport, where luxury meets performance. It's a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility, with options ranging from 360 horsepower up to 635. It's also available as a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle with $7,500 federal tax credit when leased with approved credit. Take a look at the Range Rover Velar, powered by mild hybrid technology and enhanced with the latest well-being features and fully connected entertainment system. The Range Rover Velar is the ultimate luxury compact crossover. Purchase yours today and get special 4.4% for 72 months financing available with approved credit. Don't forget about the Defender, available in multiple models to fit your needs. The Defender is built for the modern explorer, and Jaguar Bluff City is offering special interest rates for 60 and 72 months on various models. Give them a call, 877-259-6169. Go online to jaguarbluffcity.com, but head out there, test drive these vehicles. 6335 Wheel Cove, just off of Quince, for Bluff City Jaguar. Well, let's go ahead and get to crunch time.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started, so.
Spanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskell.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
Well, Brett, what I learned today was actually something I just learned within the last hour. It was a story posted on Twitter by Action News 5, and it was retweeted by Coach Silverfield. It talks about how the city has set the timeline for Liberty Park development. We know the stadium is being redone right now, but also they're going to put a lot of money into that area. The plan includes a 5-story Hampton Inn, including 152 guest rooms, a restaurant, and a rooftop bar overlooking Liberty Park and Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. It will also include residential and retail buildings in the park facing Central Avenue, including 215 apartments with retail space on the bottom floor. It is expected to be, the project is set to begin at the end of 25. The expectation is for it to open by early 2027. So definitely good news around where Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium is. Hopefully it stays on track and it'll be a nice area out there.
Great news, badly needed.
Yep.
Number one priority, like there and everywhere else, safety.
Absolutely. No doubt about it.
We can't dodge it. What I learned today, baseball kind of going back this weekend to the original interleague matchups. Cubs, White Sox, Cardinals, Kansas City, Cleveland Reds, Nats, O's, Yanks, Mets, Angels, Dodgers, homeless A's back in the Bay Area against the Giants. See how they're received.
Yeah, no, it is. It's gonna be fun. I think whether they're real rivalries or not, there are some really fun matchups this weekend.
You can't believe how controversial interleague was when it came.
You know what?
And you know where I stood.
Oh, I know.
And
exactly
I could not
where you
have been
stood.
more wrong.
Well,
and I've loved it.
Yeah, well, it's been good. It has been good. But, Brett, what I could have done without, it's your guy, Shane Lowry. I mean,
very same.
What was that this afternoon? I mean,
I can tell you what that was. Shane Lowry reacted to that chili dip chunk pitch like I did after picking him, and he shot 81 on Sunday of the Masters. So have at it, big boy.
There you go. Now, like we talked about earlier with Dan Reardon, he shouldn't have been in that situation to begin with. So what I could have done without having to be in that situation. But also, I don't think that reaction was necessary.
That's a major winner acting like that. But he was mad at the caddy malpractice.
Yeah, absolutely.
And somebody had to fix that.
Yeah, that happened to somebody. That needs to be fixed by somebody.
But it goes in the bunker, and then he had a bad shot out of the bunker.
Sure did.
Big man was running hot. That's exactly what I could have done with that.
All right.
Next topic.
Knock it out easy. Where are you beaming?
Too short. 36 holes left. Second major of the year. The big boys need to start playing like it. And all right, we like everybody been critical and snotty about this leaderboard. In 3 or 4 years, we may look back and go, maybe we shouldn't have been that way to fill in the blank.
Sure, yeah, and that would be fun. That'd be
2 or 3
a great
majors
story.
later.
Sure, that'd be a great story, and it'd be fun to watch. But I don't think it's going to get any past this weekend if that's what it is. Beam me tonight to Madison Square Garden for Game 6 feels like a big one for the Knicks. I think
feels like a big fight. You see them coming into the arena.
Oh yeah, I did see that. But I mean, it really is a weird situation we've got in this series because I think if you sprinkled some truth serum on the Knicks, they would tell you we're not winning this series. We might be leading, but we have not dominated this series at all. They have dominated us. We've just won at the end. And
Pressure so on.
Yeah, now you don't want to be in that situation if you are them. But we'll see how it plays out. It feels like a big one. You don't want to go back to Boston for Game 7.
We'll watch it all this weekend tonight. 7th and 8th Avenue between 31st and 33rd above Penn Station. The big battle at Madison Square Garden. How would you like to be able to pull into that arena, playing for the Knicks, pull into that under the area? You work at Madison Square Garden. Showboat's in about an hour and a half. We'll watch that. All the college baseball before all the conference tournaments starts next week. The big leagues this weekend. The Preakness. Fun weekend.
It's a really strong weekend in the sports world with everything going on. It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, another reminder, Ole Miss Auburn first pitch is in about 35 minutes or so. We'll have the entire pregame starting here in just a couple minutes at 5:30. Enjoy the weekend. That's all the time we have. We'll talk to you again Monday afternoon.